Hello, you beautiful people. We are back. I'm back. I've got no emergency. I'm here. I finally haven't had to duck out like 5 minutes before, so I'm here. And obviously, we got Mr. Shane from One Six Figure Focus as well. And Pete, of course. Pete is here. Rain nor shine. He's here all the time. It doesn't matter. He's here. His commitment.
I'm a permanent fixture here, yeah.
He bleeds OFAC yellow.
I do.
So look, I think we got a really good one today, because I think we've kept it quite quiet that we actually went to Celebration. So we're going to do a bit of a Star Wars-y episode, some of the new Star Wars stuff that's come out, and some of the stuff's been announced, and then into Celebration, where we all met for the first time in person. So
yeah,
it was nice. It was nice to know everyone's not just that big and in a little screen. So I was well happy with that.
And we have bodies below the nipples.
Yeah. I've got nipples, Greg. Can you milk me?
You can milk anything with nipples. And we're giving away some OFAC milk.
Creamy OFAC milk.
Yeah, I'm not providing that.
No, I've been fixed. It wouldn't be any good anyway. So, enough about my knackered bollocks. So, Celebration. We loved it. It was fantastic. It was brilliant. So we're going to have a chat about that later. But first off, we just want to say a massive thank you to the patrons, because without you kind people, we wouldn't have gone, because we're that lazy. Although it is a mere hour away, we probably wouldn't have gone. So yeah,
we're that lazy and we're that tight. But
yeah. I think we're tight and we're lazy.
Yeah, no, it was great to be there, sort of to champion the network, and I think it definitely made me make more of an effort to kind of get round to everything and get photographs and bits and pieces like that. So thanks to all the patrons for sending us to Celebration. It was really good.
Indeed. So let's kick this off then. Let's start with what we normally start with. New this fortnight. So Shane, you got anything? You pick anything up?
I didn't pick any figures up, but I don't actually have them there. I got 2 fig pins. I was a bit enabled by I know that Lael, when I met him for the first time, he had the denim jacket on. He had them, a few of them from a previous Celebration here, and I know one of my mates from Ireland is big into the fig pins, and I didn't think I'd slip down the slippery slope, but I just said, you know what, an Ortuna C-3PO would look really nice, and they weren't there, so I just got a Vader and a Boba, and they look really nice. So I could be in a bit of trouble. You need to set some parameters in this relationship.
Boba looked fantastic. I went up to that really stand cool, and I was like, yes, because one of the patrons wanted us to pick some up, and I went to the store and I was like, right, brilliant, about 140 quid's worth he wants, and I'm probably going to spend like £100 here because there's a few I want. Then I noticed a little sign saying cash only, and I was like, you bastards. Bastards.
But then we also found out that some
money
of them
laundering cunts.
that were marked
exactly.
that were marked up at £35 are actually Forbidden Planet exclusive ones, which you bought, Shane, at $19.99. So in a way, it was quite good that you didn't buy anything
he
from there.
He told me a fib. He lied to me.
What was the
I don't care because they look cool. He said they were Celebration exclusives and that they were limited to 500 each. And I kind of looked at him and kind of like, really? 500. So there's only 500 of these. And I asked it twice and he said 500. But when you log into the app, it tells you how many there is, and there's like 1,250, which is still very low. And it could have been an honest mistake. But I remember looking at him going, I don't even know if you're lying. I think you're lying.
What he meant was, I've got 500 in the box.
I like this anyway. You don't have to sell this. It's $19.99. They're selling them over there for $35. You got my money, but don't fucking push it. But my friend, I sent him a screenshot of, there's an app and you log on, and then when you pick the fig pin up, there's a little number and you type that, then you unlock it, and it gives you the details. And I screenshot it to my friend, and he he sent me a video of his display. It's really impressive. And he said, "No, man, it's it's 12.50. Could have been an honest
Still,
mistake, but
as you say,
yeah,
it's still
I
pretty
really
good
like
though.
them. Yeah, yeah.
And that's not why you bought them anyway. So
No,
you know,
no. I'll always have that as the day.
Yeah.
The day we all met up.
Yeah.
The day we all
Yeah.
met up. You know?
Yeah, and we all bought the. I haven't got it with me. We all bought the 40th patch, didn't we? The
Patch,
so on
yeah.
patch. So that was
Yes,
quite. That was
in
like
fact, just up
yeah.
there.
we all got that. So I haven't decided what to do with mine yet. But that was cool, and that was kind of probably the cheapest thing in the store. So that was
I have a bit of a horror story. So I thought I bought the Revenge of the Jedi Vader, the Hasbro one.
right.
I didn't realise that you had to order it between the 2 days in the middle of celebration, because I ordered it on the
Right.
Monday, and then I got an email through to go, yep, it's on pre-order. August it will turn up, and I was like,
Yeah.
fuck off. And then other people would order a day after, and in the week theirs would turn up. So I emailed Hasbro and he said, oh yeah, because you ordered it late, it's a pre-order. And I was like, fuck you then, like cancel it. There's no point. Like I wanted something because I went to celebration, not something that's just on for general fucking pre-order. So I was like, nope, not happening.
Right. Yeah, because I didn't realise that either. Because I've ordered a couple because not for myself, but Zach wanted one, and he tried to use the code, and because he's in the States, it didn't work.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, then I saw a pre-order, and I was like, what the fuck? But whether I thought maybe they just kind of like their initial allocation had gone, but obviously, as you said, we should have done it Sunday or Monday. That was how it was. But they didn't tell us anything, did they? They were just handing them out. Like they didn't say, oh, you got to order that in the next couple of days. So it's a bit of a bummer,
exactly.
But I'll keep mine because Zach wants one, and I'll just flip the other one if nobody else wants one.
Yeah.
So hey,
Here he is.
you're a new member of the Collecting Weekly YouTube.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I'm
Thanks,
on
mate.
board. I'm on board. I'm returning the favour.
Yeah,
Returning the favour.
yeah, because
Yeah.
you've got YouTube membership live on your channel now, haven't you?
Yeah, and I woke up the morning after just setting it up and all that, and Collecting Weekly were there, so I was like, yeah, straight back. So thanks
Nice
very
one.
much for the support, and
Great,
I
love
presume
it.
maybe it was Zach or someone, but like, yeah, thanks very much.
We've hit that time now where now the clocks have changed again. I will wake up and they will still be streaming. Whereas in the winter,
Yeah.
because of the time difference, it's normally all done. So sometimes I get up and I start watching, I'll comment and like, jump on. And I'm like, mate, it's like 6:30 in the morning. I am
Yeah.
not ready for this.
No.
I'm not in at all ready.
Which show is that? Is that the
Normally it's after dark.
After dark.
Ah,
so
yeah,
After
that makes
dark's
sense.
normally
Yeah,
normally
that
still
makes sense,
rumbling away. And I'm like,
yeah.
as much as I would love to, you are not prepared for me that early in the morning, that tired, without a cup of coffee. It just ain't happening. So yeah.
Cool.
So go on, then, Pete. Tell us.
Yeah, so
Tell us
we're
what
only
we got.
doing. Yeah, we're only doing you this fortnight because myself and Ian have both kind of got new Star Wars figures in. So technically mine isn't this fortnight, but we're all over the place at the moment. So I've finally picked up the Attack of the Clones Hot Toys Yoda. I absolutely love him. It's one of those things where you think, do I really want to pay 250 odd quid for a tiny little bit of plastic? But he's cool, and I've been after this one for ages. Ever since I started making the CCFL lightsabers, I've needed the Yoda, and the price of them's been crazy, and they weren't coming down at all. So I bit the bullet and went for it. Knocked up a little saber for him, and he's now posed up with my. I mean, the timeline's all over the place. Don't worry about it. But with my sort of custom Kenobi Obi-Wan. But yeah, Yoda's awesome. Definitely recommend him.
Yoda's a fantastic figure.
Yeah.
He is awesome. Like even just how they put him together. Like, because I had a broken one and I took it apart to fix it. I was like, wow. Like there's some engineering gone into this tiny little body. They're fantastic figures.
Yeah.
He's one of my favourite.
A lot of presence for a very small fellow.
Yeah.
And look at that on the left there. He's mean. He means business there.
Oh, he ain't fucking about.
No, definitely
He's not fucking about in the
Definitely not.
slightest.
So,
Yeah, he's
yeah.
he's fantastic.
So, really pleased to get him. Yeah, definitely. And you got this little beauty.
Finally got Django. finally, I've been after a Django for such a long time, and I was really unsure to begin with. So I got a little bit of a bonus at work, and I thought, do you know what, fuck it, I want something for myself. So I bought a Django, and well, saying that, I thought I was going to use my bonus money. Then I sold the Predator, and it turns out I only used like 40 quid of it. So I was like, oh, well,
That's even better.
Better than a kick in the bollocks. Because I used to have the Sideshow one, and actually, if you glue the bits of armour on like they should have been, it's not a bad figure. Like, it gets a lot of hate, but it's not as bad as everyone makes out. But this is leaps and bounds, obviously, like, ahead of it. The only thing I think could possibly go wrong is probably the pleather that they use on, like, the under the armour. But it's got so much presence. There's a few bits and pieces I don't think I'm ever going to use, like the dented headpiece and stuff like that.
Right.
The head sculpt you get with it is a bit weak. It's not, you know, when you look at him in Attack of the Clones, he's quite a lot younger, and whatever they've done, it just hasn't worked.
They just reused that sort of Book of Boba kind of stuff.
No. It's the
Mandalorian one. He's bald.
Yeah, he's bald and about.
No one will notice.
Twice the age. Yeah, it'll be fine. No one will know.
Yeah.
No, they kind of, because I expected them just to use like a Cody sculpt or something.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They did a new one for it, but it just doesn't quite do it. But it's one of those sculpts. Once you put the little like headset on him, it looks loads better. So I'm not quite sure what does it. Someone is at my door.
Oh, okay.
I will be right back because that's really inconvenient. 2 seconds. You chat amongst yourselves. It'll be fine.
That's a bit scary. You don't want anyone at your door at 8:45, unless it's Amazon.
Yeah, it's pretty late for Amazon.
He might not come back. We have to call the police.
Yeah.
Amazon.
Some random guy
till
comes
like
in, sit
10
down,
o'clock.
start.
Yeah.
Some guy comes in.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Who are you?
Yeah, just some random like what what's this? yeah. I was going to ask him, so it must have has it got a swap out dome? He's saying it's got a dented. I was just going to ask him if it's got a swap out
Oh, does it have
dome or something. He said it's got like a dented helmet.
Oh, so does that mean there's just the clean one and then a one with a dent and then
sounds like it.
Would that
We'll
be
have to
right?
wait for him to come back. He's not coming back. He got on a stream and then fate has stepped in again and dragged him away. So how was your trip back? All right.
That was grand. Yeah, it was it was fine. It actually took me longer to get from the hotel to Gatwick than it did to actually fly home to Dublin. Like Dublin it's not even an hour flight. Like
no.
So and I was fine though. Like I kind of just had to hop on a tube from North Greenwich, the Jubilee, and then I think it was to London Bridge, and then got like literally as I just walked in the door, saw the platform, and there was one leaving like 2 minutes.
Ah, nice.
Walk straight up, like perfect. It's fine.
Oh,
that was at Amazon.
I'm back.
Was it
No,
Amazon?
No, my missus went out with my boy, and so the way I'm set up is I'm in effectively the old bin room of my house, and everyone converts them into other rooms. So it means the front door's there. So
Right.
I was like, just tap quietly and I'll let you in. So I let him in, and then I shut the other door and went, I need to put something the other side of the door now, because as long-time listeners will know, my cat loves to piss the other side of the door. So I had to quickly lay some pads out because I'd forgot to do it before. So yeah, a little peek behind the curtain of my sad existence there.
Well, we're just glad that you've come back. You know, you've come back safe and sound and alive. We were just expecting some random weirdo to come and sit in your place, and just
Covered in blood.
yeah.
Just the camera comes back on, and it's
Ian,
like Papa Lazaro.
Ian
Hello, Dave.
back. Yeah.
some guy looking like he needs to return some videotapes sitting down. Hello.
He's my wife now.
Yeah. Want to buy some pegs, Dave?
Yeah, what's a pegs, Dave? I tell you, everyone in America probably has no idea what you're on about. No idea.
They are missing out. They're missing out.
They are.
League of Gentlemen. Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to ask you. You said it's got a crumpled. So has it got like a swap out dome piece or something.
Yeah, that entire dome bit just comes off.
Yeah.
So instead of giving you 2 head sculpts, they've just made that top bit come off, and then you've got the dent. Because the dent, apparently he gets that when he's fighting Obi-Wan.
Okay.
But I can't see it. But then when he's in the arena, he's got the different backpack, and he's got the dent in the noggin.
Okay.
But yeah, this is fantastic. And as soon as you put him next to Count Dooku, it's just the perfect pairing. Like, it looks fantastic.
Nice. Yeah.
But yeah, this is, like I say, miles way above and beyond the sideshow version. But the sideshow, if you've got the sideshow version, it's not as bad as everyone makes out. In fact, I would probably say the soft goods on the sideshow version are better. I think they will last longer, because this is a very weird, almost cardboard-looking type of pleather they've used on the pouches. So I'm not expecting those to stay glued down for the entire time I own the figure. But yeah, on the whole, it's very nice.
He's got some very thin leg straps and stuff there, so I suppose you've got to be careful with those. But
yeah, I mean, the thing is, I did take the mandatory fat suit off of it.
Yeah.
Because he's got so many layers on. On the box, he's kind of pointing a gun like that, and you cannot get him to do that, because that vest piece he's got kind of crumples up under the arms a bit and kind of restricts it a bit. So, I mean, I was thinking of doing what I normally do with kind of Mandos and stuff like that, and getting a cheap Thyssen and sticking that on it just to give it a bit more range of motion.
There's no such thing, mate, unless you get one that's damaged.
No, that's the thing. They're so expensive now. It's no longer like, well, I could spend an extra 60 quid and see. Now it's like, nah, I can't bother. But he just, for me, it's like shrink ray for this. It just looks like a man in a suit. Like, it's awesome. Like, I'm loving my Mandalorians at the moment, so he was a welcome addition to the collection.
Very
nice. He's right there.
Can't see him, but yeah, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. All you can see is the glare in the back of my head. That's all it is. Yeah. So, not new this one, no, we've just done that. New releases. New releases. So, Jersey, 245 quid. I had this on pre-order ages ago with that there sideshow, and because I went absolute mental on pre-orders, I would be even worse off than I am now, so I cancelled pretty much everything. And then the moment this came out, I very much regretted cancelling the pre-order, because it looks fantastic. It's by far one of the best clones out at the moment. Loving it. Absolutely loving it. And it's going to be one that won't be sitting at 245 forever. No. It's gonna creep up there.
Yeah, it does look at that head sculpt. It looks really good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little... So, I cannot wait for someone to recast that. And why I want them to recast that is that would make an excellent Boba Fett. Because, in my head, because old Boba Fett's bald, I'm like, young Boba Fett would be awesome bald.
Yeah, he's a bit more chiseled, isn't he? He looks...
Yeah, and that would be fantastic. I think that would make... Like, I'm already thinking my black suit Boba I've got, having that head on it without the markings would be...
Yeah, that would be cool.
Be good. So, yeah. Loving that. Absolutely loving it.
What do you think about him, Shane?
I have to, like, resist all clones.
Yeah.
I kind of... I'm very much, like, when I have a hobby, kind of going, right, think long term. You enjoy this. You want to enjoy it long term.
Yeah.
And, like, not getting anything from Clone Wars is a step in the right direction of surviving, you know, in the hobby. Because, like, I've actually been binging the Clone Wars recently. I think we spoke about this in Celebration.
Yeah.
I'm just starting season 4 now, and, like, I thought season 1 and 2 were so hard to get through. They're obviously marketed at kids ingeniously. And the kids grew, and everything, the themes and the darkness grew, and you know, I'm definitely the last second half of, say, season 3. I definitely put my phone down more and admired the animation style more. It's getting darker. They're getting more grown up looking, and I'm looking forward now to season 4, 5, 6, and 7. And I feel like I've earned it.
Yeah,
but I'm worried. I'm worried that
Yeah.
that now I'm gonna go. Maybe I just get an Ahsoka. You know what I mean? And I don't think I will, but I rarely see a clone I don't like. Put it like that. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Spanish women, you know. So this looks great. It just looks good. Like, I mean, this and Vaughn and Rex and all them, they all look good. Do you know what I was thinking though? Like, you know, if he ever kind of said, you know, I'm going to leave the army, you know what I mean, and try to settle down and got himself a little 3-piece suit. It's like having a Nazi symbol tattooed on your head, wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
It's like imagine he gets a girlfriend and then meets the parents. Well, the parents probably dead, to be fair, but they kind of go like, you know, oh no, he's changed. All that's behind him, but it's like on his head.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's super looking figure. But I'm going to be strong in this and try to, you know.
Well, this is the one that you want.
Oh yeah. Earlier on, I got a little excited because Ian said, "Well, this isn't going to be 200 and whatever forever." And I was thinking, "Well, if Jesse drops down, maybe the clone." And then you went in the other direction.
You go the other way, like it's going to go up. Yeah.
So this is now. I think this is the first figure that I'm interested in that I didn't pre-order. That is part of that waitlist gate in Sideshow, and I don't really get too panicky about that because I don't buy from them anyway. But this will be a test now to see if I can just leave this a few months and see if I can still pick it up in Hong Kong for retail or cheaper. And if I can't, then it might start get me to think, going, all right, okay, maybe there is something a bit more in this. You know, I love this. I think this looks.
So
come on,
for the listeners, Ian, tell us what we're looking at.
So this is the Hot Toys Clone Pilot, and at the moment it's about 225 quid. Comes with the 2 sculpts, the animated and the non-animated pilot helmets. And so if you have another clone trooper, one of the clean ones, you can effectively get 2 pilots out of it by just whacking the helmet on, because the helmet and the breather are all
they're
one
attached,
piece.
so
yeah.
Yeah.
But in the films and stuff, you only really see these. These are pretty much the podcasters of the Republic, really, because you only see them from about the nipple up half the time.
What are they? Are they piloting the gunships? Are they?
Yeah, the gunships, the fighters that you see whizzing around the place. I quite like them. I think they're pretty cool. But if I'm going to go for clones, I'm probably not going to get the pilots. It's probably the same reason why I've not got a TIE fighter pilot, or I don't, you know. I mean, Luke's slightly different because that's so iconic, but it's probably why I don't have a wedge or anything like that.
Do you think that, does that peg in, do you think, or does it just sit there?
It's probably a magnet. Hot Toys are going mad on magnets at the moment, so it's probably
if it was a magnet, it'd be quite easy to stick a magnet inside, if you've got another one of the clean clones.
It wouldn't surprise me if those tubes were slightly more solid.
That's what I'm wondering. It just sits there.
Hangs there.
Yeah.
Hung there.
In which case, you haven't got to do any.
It pegs in.
So you might have to do a little bit of, you know, either remove the peg or put a hole in your other one, which probably be better to just take the peg off.
Nip the peg off.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a good idea.
Look at us casually nonchalant going, we just cut a bit off a £225 figure.
Yeah, that's you and me, mate. We don't give a shit.
Take a hacksaw.
Everyone else is like, what? No, no,
don't do it.
Not at all. So everybody is trying to enable you here, Sean. We've got. I bet he ends up getting a Rex by the end of Clone Wars binge, and
I'll take that bet. I'll bet a Hot Toy.
He's going to be chasing.
I'll bet you a Rex. I won't get a Rex. Then I'll have a Rex. I won't get it.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, my Rex, I've got him, and he's by far one of my favourite figures. Like in my entire collection, if I was gonna really stream things down, he would be one of the last to go. Like Rex has got so much presence on the shelf; it's just insane. But then most of the archetype commando-y, captain-y figures do, like they just all the gear they come with and their helmets are awesome. Like, yeah, Rex is good. If you're gonna go down, if you've got no clones and you're gonna start with one, Rex.
Well, he has got one. He has got one, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got one because I don't collect. See, this is the thing. Like, I collect troopers, but I don't collect Clone Wars or prequels. But I do have one prequel, and it's Cody because it's just
It's iconic,
it's such a,
though.
it's such a
that-
banger, like, and
Yeah.
I think that's what I have in mind, like, because at the moment, like, you can't see them here because my troopers are downstairs. I don't know how I'm getting away with that, like, but she's just really cool. And she sometimes, like, she had her friends over about a month ago. So 4 or 5 people she works with, like, and she's like, oh yeah, they're Shane Stormtroopers, and the girls were like, what? but one of them was like being really nice, going, oh no, my boyfriend's into that kind of stuff, like, you should meet. And I have, he's a lovely fella, but like, I don't know how I'm getting away with it, but it's an IKEA Millsbo, so there's 8 sections, and like, I think 4 of the section have 2 troopers each that complement each other, that should be on shared screen time or whatever, and then the other 4 are just on their own, and Cody's on his own. And I just think this guy would look so good either configuration with Cody, because they just have that kind of I suppose Cody has the kind of the orange color, and this guy's got the poppy yellow, and they were both prequels, and even though they mightn't have shared screen time, they were both fully CGI'd, so they have that kind of a look, as opposed to Kenobi, when I think they were the first time the clones were ever live action. If I could be wrong about that, but I think the clones in Kenobi were Order 66 were actually guys in suits, like, you know. But yeah, I this one's going to happen. It's a question of when.
Yeah, they are very,
definitely
very,
cool.
very cool. I pre-ordered this one. I did it.
Hey.
I pre-ordered
You
it.
dirty dog, you.
I did it. Only because I've got a long-term plan. So for everyone listening, this is the Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary C-3PO. So this is 299 quid, and it's out April to September 2024.
So do we have a clean sweep? I've pre-ordered. Did you, Shane?
No,
Okay.
but it's happening.
Get
It's happening.
out.
I've got to get on to.
It's happening.
Actually, I just came on from making one of the things, the memberships, the commander. I've done it like troopers, commanders, so troopers, and then the commanders, the higher one, and the commanders have access to these. I wanted to give like extra stuff. I didn't want to put anything that I'd normally do in the channel behind a paywall. I thought I don't think that was cool.
Yeah.
But I wanted to give the members something like the higher end of things, something extra. So I'm doing these videos where I take a figure that's just been announced, and I go through and take 4 or 5 different retailers and go, right, this is the price, this is the shipping, and cross check it. And I did it for this guy, and I was like, okay, that price is still kind of crazy, but like I couldn't do it for Line Rock Toys because I know I'm going to end up getting with them anyway, but it's not on their site, so I didn't think it would be fair. You know what I mean? Because then I'd be just speculating the price. But so yeah, I've kind of done my research, and I know what the price to beat is, and if they beat it, then I'll get it from them. But this is definitely happening. Like, I just
who came out best, or do I have to sign up to your thing, commander level, to find out?
No, I'll say that. Well, Collecting Weekly already are, so. But it came out. It was strange. Like, it was. I think it was. Who was? I think it was KG Hobby came out cheapest in terms of price.
Yeah.
But it was noticeably lower. However, when I factored in the shipping to Ireland, that was €90. But it was still competitive because they had their price so far down. But another thing is, I wanted to include Toys Buying Agent, but neither this or Vader were on their site, so I couldn't do that either.
No, I looked today. Yeah.
It's strange. They usually are up pretty quick, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I've pre-ordered mine with the Good, the Bad, and the Robots over-ish in the UK.
Okay.
So I've gone with them. So they get it a little bit later, but I'm not so worried about that. And the guys over there are really good. So I was like, it's fine.
But it's the funny thing about it was, in making the video, I was kind of going, okay, I put this all in dollars because most of you are probably American, but I was kind of going, this is the price of the item, fine. No matter where you are accessing this, it'll be this price. But the shipping for me is not going to be the shipping to someone in America or England or Germany. So they have to do that work themselves, and then I'm tacking on the customs, which I won't get hit with if I go with Lion Rock, which is why I go with them. But at the same time, I have never ordered from KG Hobby directly, so I assume I have to assume I'll get hit with customs.
Probably you can kind of. It's a very, very safe bet you won't get hit with customs, But I had
For
something
KG.
sent. Yeah, I had something sent over from a guy in America. In fact, it was the Stormtrooper, the black Stormtrooper I painted up. So he sent the Return of the Jedi one over, and it turned up with HRM Revenue Customs tape all over it, where they'd had a good look through it. And I was thinking, but he'd sent it just in the shipper, so that was a little bit weird anyway. But he sent it just in the shipper, so they've obviously called it up, and luckily they didn't know what the fuck it was, so there was no like custom fees and stuff. But I think, you know, we've had a really, really good run of customs not getting hold of stuff and not kind of realising what's going on. At some point they're gonna cotton on. They're gonna have to. They're gonna. And
Yeah.
They, you know,
Well,
they pull stuff at random, didn't they?
We have a phrase in Ireland. You make fucking hay while the sun shines.
Yeah,
you know. So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like a couple of weeks ago, Toys by an Agent shipped me out the Chrome Mando and the Luke from the Mandalorian. So it was about 530 quid's worth of figures, including shipping, and I think they marked it as $50, which they could have still charged me, you know, import on, because it's anything over like, I think $25 for the UK. It sucks, but no, nothing. And it was like a massive, great, you know, they were packaged together and everything.
Yeah.
is that the Chrome Mando
Yeah,
and the Mando Luke?
yeah.
Oh,
So
that was
it's
a good day at the office.
Yeah, so it's like, well, I've parted them out, so then most of them have gone now. Most of it's all gone. So, but yeah, it just like, I was thinking, should I have asked them to ship them separately? But yeah, it was gold, no problem at all.
Yeah.
So I've gone with 1/6 kit for this, because that's where I do all my pre-orders now, because I've only got to put about 10% down, and kit's fantastic. Never had any
he was
problems.
on the list.
Never had any customs.
And free worldwide shipping as well.
Yep.
And everyone loves, like, people liked them before, but now with the In-Art Joker fiasco, when he honoured the free shipping, even though he'd probably take a hit.
Right.
Like, that's amazing.
That's absolute legend.
That is,
definitely.
Well played, sir. Well played.
Can't go wrong there.
Yeah. So this looks fantastic.
Yeah, you get Salacious Crumb, like the
cool.
2 face plates. I think I was listening to Zach talk about this, and I think he's kind of bang on with, if you can get a bit of card or something to put behind the face plate, so it gives off the illusion that there's some light behind there when he's not in. The only thing I think that they've missed the boat on with this is, if we think back to the Mark 1 Iron Man that they reissued, and they gave you a little USB bit to plug in, and it made a fan go on the back. Effectively, that's what it did. A little fan went on the back that you couldn't even fucking see, because no one looks at the arse of a figure.
I do.
Yeah, but you're weird.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, you've been warned about that.
Tomorrow, actually, I'm doing a rotation, and all the figures are going to be turned around. Like,
see, what no one ever sees is, to your left is a whole nother display case just with Captain America's facing the wrong way.
Yeah. No, he's got that whole thing on a gimbal, and he just spins it round normally.
That's it. Yeah.
So you see the back end of it all.
I always thought gimbal was a bit of a dirty word. All right,
Yeah.
It
bloody
sounds
gimbal.
dirty. It does sound dirty, doesn't it?
Come here. What's wrong with this Iron Man?
Yeah.
Just terrible joke. Terrible.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and they're a bit fiddly, because you've got to reach around. I'm going to reach around. As well.
You didn't think that one through, did you?
No, you really didn't.
No. To the back of the head, because the sideshow one's like a touch, so you just touch the back of the head and it comes on. But what's annoying is that even if you rig it up, because at one point I had a sideshow one rigged up to like USB, but if you then got that on a smart plug, you still got to tap the head to turn them on. So it's shit, really. It doesn't give you any benefit at all. So I don't know how this one's going to work. It'd be better if it's got a switch, because then you can have it permanently on, and you can have it on if you wire it up. I mean, you'd have to do it.
They need to be able to do that thing. Like, I got this little charging pad here, right? So I just throw my phone down, and then the light on the pad lights up to show that it's doing its job. how many years are we away realistically for these, especially die-cast figures like your C-3PO, your Iron Man, where you pose them on the base, your lights up.
Yeah.
Like, is that
Yeah.
too much to ask? Is that going to cause the price to be astronomical? But like that'd be
It would be
that'd
cool.
be legit.
But then you don't display with bases, so you'd have a problem. But
A man can change and only admit when he's wrong.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
like,
if
I don't.
if needs
no,
must. Yeah.
That's a great point, right? That's a great point, right?
Mhm.
But the in-art Joker's there, and I love the magnetic base. I know it's a bit
Yeah.
of a touchy subject at the moment, but I don't like. It's fine. It's just put them on the base. Center of gravity, done deal.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a nice touch. If the base is nice enough, I'll use it.
Yeah, yeah. But and we were. It's funny because when we were at Celebration, they had there was a life-size 3PO, wasn't there, in the chair, the throne from the Ewok village, and we were saying it's a real shame that they didn't do a deluxe one with the chair.
I was
Would have
thinking
been
about
really
that the
good.
other day.
Maybe on like a see-through stand, so you could have him levitating.
They'd have to give you a separate lower torso to do
Yeah,
that.
because you can't sit down, can he?
Yeah, because I've been
Yeah.
listening to a lot of people going, yeah, the chair would be great and that, and then I remembered the modifications people had to do to the sideshow one to get it to sit in like the Jazz Inc. Speeder.
Jazz Inc. Yeah.
Where you have to cut some
You're right.
grooves up the front of it because
Yeah.
he can't. The legs won't go up.
Yeah.
Because
So
of the,
it would add quite a bit of cost, wouldn't it? Because you'd have to have a. Yeah.
But isn't it a kind of a Toy Fair exclusive pattern now that the Toy Fair exclusive are usually previous released figures, just given maybe a different outfit or maybe a different head
paint
sculpt or
job
some
or-
sort of variations.
Yeah.
And now that we've seen C-3PO1, the Attack of the Clones, and now we have this one here, I'd imagine they'd hold off until A New Hope for the really, really shiny, chromed up awards ceremony one, but they could give you the broken up one, but they probably have to give you a Chewie then, wouldn't they?
well, what I plan to do is, and I will probably end up doing it before this comes out, is I'm just going to chop up my sideshow one. I could sell it and realistically
Massacre.
get 100, 150 quid, or I could chop it up, put it in a bag and stick it on the back of my Chewie, and Bob's your uncle, it's done.
Yeah.
Because really you only need the torso, the legs from really the knee down, and then I'd have to make a bag of some kind, which to be fair you could probably do out of string.
Yeah, I did the same
wouldn't-
with I used the one that came with that book. I forget what the book was. It was one came with a book. It was about £40, and it looks pretty good actually. I repainted everything, but it's funny if you do it. It's really quite tricky to work out the proper. If you want to do it properly, to work out where all the limbs are and where to cut, and it's good fun, but it was a lot harder than I thought. And I just bought some some flexible bungee cord, and I kind of tied it myself. I made a net out of it. It worked quite well.
Very confusing
does look
for
really
someone
cool.
who's just joined the stream.
Yeah. So I chopped them up, used some bungee cord.
I chopped them up.
It's
put
actually
them in
more
a net,
difficult
made a
than I
net.
thought.
Yeah, made a
I
net.
was vomiting
weighed
a
it-
lot.
Weighed it
And
down, threw it off the edge of the boat, and
And the
no
sound of
one's-
the
no one's
crying.
found
the
them yet.
sound of the crying.
And that's how Pete killed his first prostitute.
yes.
Demonetized.
Bang!
I know we all went through that phase.
So
Everyone.
so it'd be interesting to see the mechanism of how that faceplate comes off, and it might make it a little bit easier to do the card thing if you want to make the eyes look lit. Because obviously the sideshow one was you'd have to crack that open, but clearly this faceplate comes off, so it might make it a bit easier. And I was just saying to Shane when we were at Celebration, I'm not sure who would actually display him like that with his eye hanging out, because it's not pretty unless you're actually doing like the Jabba. We end up with a Jabba, or if you've got a sideshow Jabba and you're actually doing it with 3PO laying on the platform with it, pulling that eye out. I think it's a nice thing to have, and it's nice to have the salacious crumb. But
If I'm honest, I think they've only done it just to warrant having the salacious crumb in there.
yeah. Which is fine.
It wouldn't surprise me if, for the next big Star Wars event, we get a Jabba the Hutt,
Yeah.
and it just makes sense then to have Salacious Crumb floating around somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Salacious Crumb. It's awesome. I've got a little 3D printed one that I did and painted. But this looks great. Like it looks just like the puppet. It's got that soulless, dead-looking eyes. Like they've nailed that. It looks really good. So yeah, I'm proper excited for this. Proper excited.
I think they've made an effort, haven't they? Really, like in fairness, because they've included a base. Everyone was giving out about the sand bases and the hexagon bases and the diamond bases. They've included a base, and does the base light up? I know the Vader one does. I'm not sure if this lights up, but they've included one, and for a figure that really. You're not going to give him a rocket launcher, are you? He's C-3PO. There's not much you can give him, really. But so it's a kind of a clever way of including something else. And if they do a Jabba, it'll all make more sense. But we'll see.
And obviously, the great question that you've posed on your show already about will there be an R2 to go with this? We've had an R2 in the photos. Is it the deluxe one, or is it going to be a new one?
It's not. It's too dirty. It can't be. I really. There's a few photos they have of 3PO, and it's just him and R2, and it looks like a movie poster. It's so vintage looking. It's beautiful. I don't think it's the deluxe, and I've had people who have the deluxe have said no. They were watching the show and they're like, it's sitting on my shelf. I can confirm this is not the deluxe, but fingers crossed.
And it's not the Force Awakens one either.
No, because the Force Awakens one. The Force. Oh no, I actually thought that was a bit cleaner, but the Force Awakens one didn't come with a bunch of stuff that popped out.
No, it didn't have anything.
It came with some stuff.
I've got two of those, and they're pretty good. But they're a bit more weathered. They are a bit more weathered than the deluxe one.
Right. But they're probably not as weathered as the one on the photos, though, are they?
No.
Because really
I haven't really looked at that, but probably not. But then I weathered the fuck out one of mine, so it would definitely might have been more weathered. But I hope it'd be good. It'd be great to have an. I think if I was really pushed and I had to have two figures to represent Star Wars, I would have 3PO and R2. It's just so iconic with 3PO with his hand on the top of R2's head.
Yeah.
That would do it for me. I know for a lot of people, it's the next guy we're going to talk about, Vader and stuff. But
I get you, though. I get you.
It would be those two.
Yeah. Like you could ask. I think there's probably people out there that would recognize C-3PO and R2-D2 quicker than they'd recognize Farm Boy Luke. Like Fairweather, really, really, not even just not even fans, but they're kind of iconic like that.
And did you watch all the all the panels? Did you catch up with all the? Because I thought Anthony Daniels and Warwick Davis together were fantastic on the 40th anniversary panel.
I didn't actually watch that one, but I did see Anthony Daniels after he left. Actually, Anthony Daniels was on stage, and he came across so well. I watched a lot of the main stage ones when I came home that I'd missed, but I'm gonna go back and watch that panel.
It's funny because I kind of got an impression that he was a bit of an arse, and that things I'd seen of him sort of in recent years, but he came across really, really well, just really, really funny. Really genuine, and watch the Return of the Jedi 40th. I mean, it's a little bit traumatic in the fact that Billy D. Williams really doesn't. He's not with it. But then he was on his own later, and he was fine. So but they kind of carried it, and he had Ian McDermott on it as well. And the three of them, Warwick Davis, and it was brilliant. Really, really, really good fun.
Is Billy D. Williams not well?
Well,
so I didn't think he was. That, but...
Yeah, I mean, he's 86, and he came on with a cane.
86?
Yeah. On that panel, he was a little bit out of it, and he was talking about his book, and then they'd kind of moved on, and then he just kept talking, and they sort of, they went quiet, and they listened to him. And he looked like he maybe was sort of in the early stages of sort of dementia or something. But then he was on his own on the main, on the bit we were round, the diorama sort of base thing, and he was absolutely fine. He was, his charming, scoundrel kind of thing. And I was relieved because I was really concerned for him. but he was much better there. So I think maybe he was just he couldn't hear what they were asking him, or he was just not not focused. But when it was just him, he was fine. So, but yeah. Oh, Trevor says Anthony Daniels was the nicest person I got an autograph from. I heard some brilliant things
Trevor.
about Ian McDiarmid as well. Ian McDiarmid, Stephen Rosen, who's a local lad to me. He got some autographs, and he said that Ian McDiarmid was fantastic. And again, he comes across really, really well on that panel. Like just a genuinely nice guy. So yeah. So the other big one was the Return of the Jedi Darth Vader. So what was the damage on this one, Ian?
So he is 340 quid for the deluxe and 290 for the standard, and this is July to December 2024. So a little bit later than C3PO.
Yep. Now I've pre-ordered this one. I know you haven't, Ian. So if I'll say this will be my fourth Vader. So I've got the original New Hope. I've got a Rogue One. I will be getting the Hayden Christensen one from Kenobi, and I'm getting this one because I want the Shaw sculpt, and I've undenied about getting the quarter scale. I've almost pulled the trigger a few times, and I'm like, I haven't really got room for it, and I don't really want to go down that route. So we all knew this was coming. We all knew it would be a kind of recast of, shrunk down of the quarter scale. So I'm really pleased about this, and I will kind of and I've been listening to a lot of chat, and I don't know because I've not investigated it myself, but the thinking is that it's all USB. Which would be fantastic because then you can have the chest box, the belt, because they're all separate switches and stuff in the previous versions. But people have been looking at the description. There's no mention of batteries anywhere. So it'd be fantastic if you just plug one USB in and it all lights up. Because I've never lit any of the belt boxes or the chest on my Vaders.
I mean, my Vader's a bit of a Frankenstein of everything because I got the costume book, and I was like, right, let's do this properly. And I've got the sideshow belt boxes and chest piece, and they work really well because there's a wire that goes from it's effectively a circuit, so there's a wire that goes through all of them, and there's a switch at the back. You turn it on, it all lights up. Job done. There's none of this like with the Hot Toys one. The problem is with the Hot Toys ones is you do them all individually, but those two front boxes are two separate bits on the belt, and they tend to come off because of the way they work is you have to kind of pinch the belt to get it so that the little fingery bits kind of
the little
so when you're trying to slide them about to position them, they pop off.
Just not feasible, is it? At what point are you going to pull him out of your display, turn all those on, look at it for 10 minutes and go, right, I better turn them off, or they die. And it's just, so I've always found them useless, the boxes. So I think for me, and it doesn't matter if it's not, because I'm quite happy I'm going to display this with the Shaw sculpt holding the helmet, and he's going to kind of be on his own, just an iconic Vader with the Shaw sculpt. I won't be using the light up one, but I did go with the deluxe just because I want to have the two bases and things like that. It'll be interesting to see what the USB sabers are like. I don't think they're going to be particularly good. There probably won't be any brighter than the battery ones. They'll just last because you won't have to keep changing the batteries and stuff. So I don't think they're going to give the CCFL custom ones a run for their money. But I've gone with this, and I'm looking forward to having this guy in the display. What about yourself, Shane?
I have the Kenobi one on pre-order, but I can't say no to this. This is why I pass on entire lines. So when something comes along, I know the word iconic gets thrown around, but come on, it's original trilogy. Basically, anything from it's iconic. But I do think that as much as the Kenobi show missed a few beats, I do think when they eventually got to the two boys in the one area the one time, I thought what they did was beautiful, and I just loved that. Even the acting, Hayden wasn't known for his acting because he was dealt the wrong kind of a raw script really, which involved sand and romantic dialogue that looked like it was written by two prepubescent children. I just fucking it's fucked up like the dialogue, but but when the two boys got down to the fight and the dialogue there, I thought that was quite strong, and I really liked that. So I can't turn my back on that, but I also can't ignore this. I think this is beautiful. What's not to like? Like, what's not to like, you know? The light up stuff, I think they said it was a USB lightsaber.
Yeah.
And the base, did they say, there's at some point in the description it says USB not included. So it says light up function power.
They just don't give you the cable for some weird reason.
Yeah. It says, like, I'm looking to cite you one now. Light
I think
up
it's
function.
something to do with if they put the cable in, it's classed as like an electronic product as opposed to a toy or something. I think that it's come up before, and I think that was the reason.
It's just a USB-C. It'd be the same with the DeLorean.
Yeah, because it says light up function operated using USB powered. But they're not being crystal clear about, okay, the head's battery, we know the lightsaber is USB powered, but isn't that the only thing that they've confirmed is USB powered?
Yeah,
so
we don't know.
I've seen the same conversations as you. Like, there's people are saying it's powered by, they're not saying it's powered by batteries.
No,
but that could be them. It could be a language thing,
it's not a make or break, but it'll be lovely if it does all.
It would be great if you could just plug in the base, hide the wire, and everything lights up. That's the ideal, isn't it? That's what you want. So
but I might be tempted, as this will be like a standalone. Now that I'm kind of into the electronics, making the CCFLs, I might be quite tempted to actually just wire it all up myself and do that. To be honest, but
you could do the Iron Man thing, couldn't you? I know that people get those fusion reactors with different wires to go in the head and stuff like that. Like, it's just a case of hiding the wires, then, isn't it? Like, you know.
Yeah, but anybody with this guy would be easy because he's got all the robes and the clothes and stuff like that. So it'd be very easy to hide all that stuff.
Because I presume there's like for the Iron Mans, I presume there's one for the chest, one for the head, and for the arms, and there's 4 wires. They go into one. You could probably wrap it around, make one. So you really only are hiding one then.
Yeah. Of course. You can put them in series. Yeah. So that's fine. I do think that Zach was saying that he doesn't think. I mean, again, Zach's very, very aficionado on the Vader. He reckons that this helmet is not as good as the quarter scale one. He thinks there's inaccuracies in this, and he's doubting whether it's a shrunken down version of that.
If I'm honest, I can't see a difference between that helmet and if you take that Vader and the Empire Vader, they are the same. I can't see any differences between the two.
No.
It looks the same, and I agree with Zach. I think the best head sculpt you can get is the Kayaboto one with titanium dome.
From the Hasbro.
Rarest rock and roll shit. I've got one. I want to repaint it, so it's not on mine at the moment. But I mean, it's great. It is the best out the box Vader you're going to get in 6 scale. Because of the amount of stuff it comes with. But in my head, I have a Vader. I'm perfectly happy with it. I have a quarter scale Vader with a Sebastian Shaw sculpt. I've got a 6 scale Vader with a Sebastian Shaw sculpt. I've got him with a crispy Anakin sculpt. I've got him with a battle damaged fucking mask. I've got, over the course of the years I've been collecting, because of this 3D printer, I've got most of this already. So in my head, I'm going, right, okay, so this is 350. If I'm going balls deep into it, I'd have to sell my old Vader, but I'd want to keep the cloak and some bits off of that. But my old Vader, I think, has a better chest box. It has a few other better bits and pieces because I've bastardised it and done bits to it. So I'm in my head, I'm just like, I would be spending 350 quid for that Sebastian Shaw sculpt, which I already have in a bigger scale. So I'm very much like, if the usual suspects part this fucker out, I dive at that head sculpt. But that's the only bit in there that I'm going, I really like that. The rest of it, I'm like, I like the stand. I think the stand with the stairs is really cool.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like, I'm perfectly happy with what I've got. And like my Vader, I've got that cut off hand because I've got it off the Sideshow one, because the Sideshow gloves are better than the Hot Toys gloves. They're easy to get in, they're softer, and they don't have the broken wrist lightsaber holding hand that all the Hot Toys Vaders have.
Yeah.
So, you know, it might. I just have to be really strict when I have something like this, and I go right. Like, I'm happy
as you
with
say,
what I've got.
I think
I've got
because you've got
multiple choices.
Yeah, because you've got the quarter, you've got the best because of the scale. You know, the head sculpt is better than this. The helmet is better than this because it's just easier for them to do it.
I think the paint is better on this unmasked head
Right,
sculpt
okay.
by a long shot. It's miles better.
Yeah,
but I think the sculpt is better on the quarter scale one purely because you've got that much more detail
that much
in that you can do.
Space to work with. Yeah.
But that doesn't take anything away from this. It's still fantastic.
No,
it's still.
I think
brilliant.
Two great figures there, and it's surprising that we haven't had any more yet, either from Jedi or from that last episode of Mando.
Wait till next week. Wait till next week. They will
with
so
the last
many announcements.
one. Yeah,
and then there'll be so many posts looking for certain first order figures that no one wanted for ages, nice and red that no one likes. That people
I sold a figure yesterday. Actually, I sold a heavy Mando.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and no regrets.
No.
No.
See, I like the heavy Mando. I've been on the fence about one of those for a while.
You're dead right. Like, it's not that I didn't like it. It's a big boy. It's a cool looking armor. It's got all the chips and the battle damage. Huge gun, all that kind of stuff. You know, it's great. I didn't sell it because I didn't like it aesthetically, but like I'm thinking, will I love this character in 10 years?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like when I'm looking at,
exactly.
you know, you look at over my shoulder, you've, you know, the Dark Knight, Bale, the Joker. You got RoboCop. Like they've been with me for, you know, up here.
You're already way past that.
Yeah. I'm not going to change my mind on that. Like
we say it all the time, don't we, about these, you know, figures from TV shows.
Yeah.
Like if you're collecting Game of Thrones in 10 years' time, are you still going to be?
You know what? If they'd nailed that last season, you might.
Yeah, I know,
You
exactly. But it left a real bad taste in the mouth, didn't it? And
how many Walking Dead Ricks do you reckon people are going to have in 10 years?
Jesus Christ!
Like, you
Carl.
Carl. Like I think you're safe with like Din Djarin and people like that, and Bo-Katan, but he, you know, he's a cool character.
Bloody cool.
Like,
Yeah, bloody
he's
cool.
very, very cool.
And you know,
I get what you mean.
If I get regret, if I have regret,
there's a new one coming out. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it's a safe bet, isn't it? That you can pick him up again. But
that's it. You just have to accept that you're not going to get back what you pay for him, and don't be moaning about it. So
yeah.
I shan't moan.
No, definitely not. And then we just got one more. We won't spend too much time on this, but this was the Play Toy Queen, which is Amidala from Phantom Menace. I think it looks really good.
Yeah, I'm as soon as they announce a price and someone's pre-order it, I'm going to pre-order it.
Yeah.
This looks really good
because no one's done it. I don't think don't think anyone's done it. There were some fantastic cosplays of this at the celebration.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was one.
Like even with the lights around the bottom of the dress and stuff, the robes, fantastic.
Yeah.
When I think of Phantom Menace, I think of Darth Maul and I think of this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like they're just iconic. So this is definitely one once it comes out.
And the head sculpt looks really good.
If it comes out as good as the prototype, that's bloody good. Like it's in that's just the, I suppose that's the real thing, isn't it? Like if the sculpt's going to be as good as the proportion's going to be good. Yeah. But if you're guaranteed, if you get what you see on the screen, it looks pretty good. And I think the NRD is quite cheap. I believe. I think it's.
Yeah, it's not going to be.
It's not. I don't think it's. I don't. Someone was talking about the NRD being about $20 or something like that.
Yeah.
Or less.
Does it come with a?
Is it up now?
I'm not sure if it comes with a body or not. But it's going to be under 150. It's going to be.
Let's have a look. Because I want this. Care have it, won't he?
Yeah, that's right.
This is it. We're all just suddenly going to go and do our shopping now because it's like, oh, here's that. We're going to get it. Let's see it on there.
It is on there.
Well, I'll have it later because otherwise it's going to be really.
Yeah,
boring
but
just
it's going to
watching
be
the shop.
decent. It's going to be decent, probably like 130, something like that. I'd have thought.
Yeah.
So not a big price either. Yeah, that was good. So.
Yeah, I'd take it. I'd take that bet. Yeah, I think you're right. It probably will do. But if I have to do a bit of work to it, and it's cheap enough, I'm happy.
Yeah. I didn't purposely cut the bottom of the dress off because I didn't think they were correct. That's just the way it is. Just a couple of questions. Have you had any peeling on any of your Vaders? Nope. No problems at all.
Only on one where I used
you have.
double-sided tape to stick bits down to where they should be. But that's putting double-sided tape on the fucker.
You got what you deserved there, mate.
Generally, in all the years I've been collecting, the only stuff I've ever had peel is the Sideshow Aragon, the Strider one, where he's got...
Yeah.
All of it was fine, apart from this one patch he has on his arm. That peeled.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. I generally haven't had... I've had stuff sent to me that's peeled to fuck, and people must live in a fucking boiler house, but I've never had, touch wood, that much go wrong. Peeling generally isn't a problem.
My two Vaders are fine.
But that must be our climate.
Yeah, I think so.
It never gets, in Ireland and England, it never gets, I know in the summer in England it can get quite hot, but in general we don't get, we're not sub-zero temperatures that often, and we don't get crazy high temperatures that often either, and it's not that humid. It's not like Florida or whatever. So it's
and then
we're lucky.
Caffeinated says, I'm tempted, but I have Empire Vader. Do I need both? Yes, you do.
It depends.
It's a banger.
Doesn't it?
It's a banger.
It's
so good.
It is fantastic.
Yeah, and if you've only got one Vader, go with two. You got to have two.
If you've got some Empire figures and you've got some Return of the Jedi figures, you can have both. It's no aggro. If all you've got are two Vaders, then they're going to look pretty similar.
Yeah.
But
or you could just stick with the one, right? And you could have put his hands like this, and you could have the Empire figures and the Return of the Jedi fighting over him. As if he's their dad.
You could.
You know what I mean?
That's it.
Yeah, it'd be good.
You know, that's what you could do.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah. That'd work. That'd be fine.
Yeah.
He's my daddy. He's mine. He's mine. With the two Lukes, you'd have the Return of the Jedi Luke and then the Bespin Luke.
Bespin, yeah.
Well, what you have is you just have the Return of the Jedi Luke just holding a hand like that, like he's pulled it off, and you just got the wrist. So celebration, we went. It was great. So that's it, really. Right, we'll see you all next week.
Yep.
Yeah. I thought it might be worth starting this off about what did it meet our expectations? Because in my head, so me and Pete only went on the Saturday.
Yeah.
I'd heard nothing but horror stories about the Friday that night. About it was just constant queues, and it was just line again. You spent all day lining up, and it was too busy, and it was crowded, and I was like, oh fuck you know, it's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
But when I enjoyed it so much. It was a fantastic day. I didn't think it was overly busy, and Saturday was sold out, and I didn't think it was overly busy. Not once did I sit there and go, fuck, this is too much. The only time it jammed up was, so the XL has an inbuilt food court bit in the middle, with some stalls around to get food, and it kind of bottlenecked there a little bit, but the guy was trying to put a one-way system in, which was making things worse.
Yeah.
So that was the only time that I was ever like, oh fucking hell, this is busy. The rest of the time, it wasn't even a consideration. It was fine.
So you were there Friday as well.
Enjoyed it.
Shane, weren't you? So how did you find the 2 days, in terms of busy and stuff like that?
I definitely found Friday was quite busy. And like, bear in mind that like I didn't on either day. I didn't get in until after 11. The first day I just got to my hotel. It was like just the flight. I was traveling through the stuff in the hotel. Went straight to the Excel, and I got in at 11 o'clock and walked straight in. So like there was none of this queuing outside or anything. Got straight in, and I even the second day. I woke up maybe 9 or whatever and checked Facebook, and some people there's a photo. It was 6:50 a.m. on the Star Wars Celebration Facebook group. The sun was rising, and there was people everywhere in the queue. The zigzag like cattle, trying to get in. And I just looked at that, and that's just in my head I called that's a fuck that. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Like as in like no. I'm gonna go in at 11 o'clock. I had no autographs booked. I had no photos booked. So for me personally, it was like, no, I'm not standing in a queue for 3 hours to get in somewhere I'm going to get in anyway, when I can walk in at maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock and walk straight through. So I had no problem getting in. I also wasn't queuing for autographs or photos, so I respect that. A lot of people, from what I heard, had booked autographs and photos, and I thought the whole point of pre-booking and paying £200 to see someone was you could kind of walk up and go,
you didn't have
story.
To queue. Yeah,
I don't think that's fair on the people. They need a better system for that. I don't have the answers. And I actually got into the shop with you. I had no intention of going into the shop. I hadn't booked anything. I didn't. I'm not even familiar. There was some sort of a booking system to get into the official store. Yeah. I was busy in the weeks coming up to this. I didn't even try. I heard that was sold out, and I accepted. Okay, I can't go into the official store. I'll just go around the rest of them. But then when you suggested it, I was like, all right. And we took a look, and in fairness, it was moving. We were probably in the queue for 45 minutes, and it gave us a chance to talk. So even that I didn't find annoying. I thought I enjoyed all the time.
45 minutes, did it? When we were sitting in the queue.
But the Friday I did find, like, the big crowds thing doesn't bother me or anything like that. I'm lucky, but I did find on Friday, I said to myself, there are a lot of people here. It was kind of like, I don't like going out on New Year's Eve, and I don't like going out on Paddy's Day in Ireland because it's just you're like this trying to get your pints, and you're trying to come back down from your bar spilling pints all over yourself. It's not a fun experience, and that's for about an hour there on Friday. It was like, oh, this is packed, and I think maybe some people left, or maybe people went to the panels. I don't know. Maybe it was the initial surge, But even then, the Friday, when I met up with, say, Lael and Reviews of Rich and all them people, we stood by the main stage, and it was brilliant because we had a bit of space to move. We had our own, like, circle. It wasn't crazy. You weren't, like, getting bumped on constantly. You just had our own circle. We could hear the cast of, like, it was amazing. You had Tony Gilroy, Diego Luna, you had all the cast from Andor. I think Giancarlo Esposito was there. We could hear that and engage like that. We had a little hub, so you could, if you wanted to go get a beer, you could. If you wanted to go shopping, you could and come back to. And it was so much fun, like, and it was just amazing. Like, I loved it, like, but definitely noticed that Friday was, there was a point there. It was, there's a lot of people here.
Yeah, I found when me and Pete first turned up, we watched the little rehearsal bit, and we were probably, say, 10, 15 meters from the stage.
Yeah.
So we could hear everything, and it was great. I was like, even though we were at the side, it was great. But throughout the day, we kind of came back a few times, and they were doing bits and pieces, and the sound system wasn't that great, particularly when you were standing towards the big tank. They had the Rogue One tank and the Hoth stuff, and we were that was kind of the front of the stage. We were kind of just past that bit, so we were probably 20-25 meters back, and you kind of heard this Return of the Jedi. So I was like, okay, are they cheering because it's just Return of the Jedi and it's awesome and we must cheer for that, or are they cheering because someone's coming back from Return of the Jedi, or what was it? So but I never really went for the panels and stuff. Because I'm very much like, they put that shit on the internet. I'll watch it on the internet. That's fine. But I thought it was a really good I thought it was a really good thing that they had that one stage that you didn't have to book into. You could just rock up, and they had people on that throughout the day, and it wasn't just people like, oh, this is Mike. He opens the automatic doors on Return of the Jedi, and it was actual, because we laughed about some of the autographs where it was like you were queuing up for like 3 hours to get an autograph for the guy who put the second coat of varnish on Luke's lightsaber, and you're like, really? Is that something people want? Like, I don't get it. But it was, they had decent people on there throughout the day, so it never felt as though you were missing out on anything. You still saw these people, and you could still kind of interact, which was great. Like, I didn't expect that. I thought it was just all going to be behind panels that you couldn't get to because you didn't win a lottery or you didn't book like 6 months in advance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I
agree.
think for me, number one was meeting you guys.
Everyone says that after they meet me. It's the best part of the show, really. Yeah, I agree.
It's just another Thursday, eh?
Yeah. I was surprised that Pete didn't have any legs. That was a weird one.
He just floating around there.
Yeah,
robot legs.
Around. Yeah.
No, that was great. Obviously met up with Ian in the morning, and then my friend Mark in the second picture there, he came up. He got a late ticket. He came up. We lost him for a bit, and then we all met up again.
We just turned around. He was gone.
He was just gone. He just got swept up.
Nice to meet you.
Swept up, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, shall I look for him? And I thought, I'm not going to find him. So when we found out we were going to meet up with you, Shane, I said, I'll meet us there. And then we sort of spent the next, 4 hours walking around together. It was great. It was just really nice to just chat with the guys and just wander around, just looking at stuff. We had some cool, you'll see them later, we had some cool photos on the Falcon and the front of the bunker on Endor. Things like that. That was cool, and it was nice looking at the stalls. I mean, obviously we knew that Sideshow weren't going to be there, so there wasn't any new hot toys or anything. But I did enjoy the Hasbro stall and stuff. Like, we were all saying how good those 3/4 inch figures are now.
I was really impressed with the Hasbro stuff.
Yeah,
my boy's 10, so I go to toy shops with him, and I always have a look, and I'm always like, it's all right, it's okay. And I've had the odd one now and again. It's just a bit of desk fodder that I can piss around with when I'm meant to be paying attention to work calls, but I don't. I played with toys instead. But these were there's Stephen in the chat says the M1 Starfighter looked fantastic.
Yeah, because I think they unveiled that on the Sunday, didn't they? So we didn't see that ourselves, but
Well, we saw the Razor Crest that they had, and we saw the sail barge in person, which I've never seen before, and I was like, it's just ridiculously massive. Like, it's huge, eye-watering. But I was really impressed with the actual figures themselves. The detail on them was great. The sculpts are just phenomenal considering how small they are now, for like 30 quid each,
and the posability is really good on them as well.
I mean, what cracked me up was you went to the Hasbro one and they had them all posed up properly. The Boba Fett they had, it makes me want a Boba Fett. I want the Black
that was
Series
the Black
Boba Fett
Series
now.
6-inch, wasn't it? Yeah,
posed it to perfection, absolutely great. You then went along to some of the retailers that were there that were selling stuff, and they were charging top whack for hot toys. And when I say top whack, I mean they were taking the piss. They were going in dry, some of them, and they literally had just no effort had gone in. That one guy, he was just off. He was just past the Hasbro vendor, and he actually had reasonable prices on some stuff. But to the left of his, to the right of his store, he had a display case, and he had a few of them in there. There was no effort involved in posing these. They were literally like, boom, on the shelf, leaning up against the glass like that. I was like, I was like, come off it, mate. Like, you don't. I know we're all massive Star Wars fans, and people are going there to spend money, and they want to spend money, but at least make it look like it's an actual fucking person. Like, it's not hard to do. And I was just like, that's
you could make so many more sales. Like the worst one, and it's a figure that you've got, Shane, and I'm sure it looks really good when it's posed up properly. Was the mustard stormtrooper from was it Book
I'm
of Boba?
reposing that today.
And it looked, it was straight up and down, and it looked like a 20 quid Hasbro figure. It looked awful, and someone looking at that would go, "Why is that 100 and whatever it was? 200 quid or whatever."
250 quid. I think
Yeah,
I wanted for
yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Makes such a difference. Yeah.
When you're just a few months ago, I don't know where I got the photo from. It could have been the sideshow, the blogger photos, but I screenshotted a pose of that figure in my phone.
Yeah.
To eventually go and repose it, and I was like, right, I'm going to do that today. So I'm kind of
That's
halfway
funny.
through it.
Yeah, but that
funny,
looked like the worst one. That was the worst one. It was awful.
Yeah. If I get it looking good, I'll send you a photo of it. But
definitely. I'm sure it would look great. So yeah, just some photos of
the lads,
these handsome chaps here. The lads. Yeah. So this one was cool. This was in the. They had a little. They had some really good sets, didn't they? I think it was apparently some Belgian set makers.
The sets were fantastic. Everyone I showed the photos to goes, "Oh, you got to sit at the table." I was like, "Yeah." I thought my back was going to explode, but I sat at the table.
Oh yeah. You were having some back problems, weren't you? But so they had the.
You should be like, Ian. It takes ages. The Falcon is actually so much bigger when you walk inside it. We had to queue for hours.
Hours and hours.
Yeah. But in reality, they had this seating area with the chess table, and then also they had like an impression of the corridor, didn't they? They had it went back a little way, but then obviously they'd made it look like it went off into the rest of the Falcon, and they were really good, weren't they? With the photos, they put a lot of effort into kind of getting them just right.
You chucked on your phone or your camera, and they took loads and they took decent photos. So I was really proud.
You just know someone has done this 100 times or more, and your photos are going to be good when they're like they're getting down their knees, they're going landscape portrait, they're getting angle. It's just like they're obviously very good at this because they've done it a lot. But it's
good to know, isn't it, that you get decent. No, we didn't go with Lego Palpatine, and we didn't go with. There were so many things, weren't there? You could do the ones with the lightsabers and stuff.
I would have gone for Lego Palpatine. It looked fantastic, but the queue for the Lego stuff was ridiculous. That was the one I looked at where I was like, as much as I'd love to, that's mad. Like the queue.
I think with all of these, we kind of walked past and went, actually, that doesn't look too bad. It's moving. It's probably 20 minutes, isn't it? And so we got.
And you had to kind of pick your battles and kind of do it
exactly. I think that's a great point because say like there's nearly a shop for everything. Like when I was like Forbidden Planet, I was like, I'm not going in there because I know the stuff's going to be overpriced.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Lego, I don't collect Lego personally, but I think it's awesome. And I was looking at the queue going, it's probably a waste of my time. I'll probably just admire all the stuff and not buy anything in the queue.
And as far as I know, they didn't have
anything
new, anything exclusive or anything in it. I think there was a tile or something that you could get, but I don't know what it was, like a 2x2 or something with a Jedi thing on it. So I wasn't bothered about that. But and then they had the and obviously then they also had the navigation chair and desk.
Gutted. I couldn't take. If I sat down,
you couldn't move, could you?
Wasn't going to get back up again. I was fucked. So I could not.
Ian's lying on the ground just to the right.
Yeah.
No,
I tell you, when I got the train back, right, I had to make sure I got up out of my chair, the stop before mine because I wasn't going to be able to get up in time to get off the train. Like it absolutely destroyed my back that day. So I was gutted because these are really cool photos, and that was really.
I just noticed it's actually got a seatbelt on it. That's cool, isn't it?
Yeah. It's blinding.
But no, that was really cool. That was cool. I had to have a photo in there, and so myself and Shane sitting there. That was really cool.
The seatbelt is for asteroids.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. When it gets a bit bumpy. We also queued up for the Endor bunker, which was such a cool set there.
Fucking massive as well.
It is.
I don't think the pictures really do it justice as to how big it was.
Yeah.
Because that was huge. Absolutely massive and so well done. And again, that was another one that I think when we first got in there, the queue was huge for it.
It was.
And it's probably the thing I see the most where everyone's posted photos is I think everyone got a photo.
Yeah, because I saw Kevin
had
had done them, Kevin Clarkson. I was like, oh, that's so cool. But I think it was about 4:00, wasn't it? And I think people were starting to, they'd either had their photos done or they were leaving. So the queues all got a bit more manageable.
Yeah.
And we were just chatting, weren't we? We were just talking shit. So it kind of like, we might as well be in a queue doing it. And
that's definitely.
I don't think we had to queue up that long for it.
No.
If I was advising anyone, like if someone, okay, if you can go all 4 days or 3 days in Japan, but if not everyone has that option. So if I were giving people advice, if you had to go 1 day, don't go the first day. Because a lot of people might flock in the first day. If you can pick like one of the latter days, if like the Monday probably be ideal because it's the end of it and it's on a Monday, probably be quieter. And if you hang on long enough, it does start to thin out considerably from like 4:00 onwards. So you have 3 hours, then you more or less free reign. Like it's not empty, but it's you're not gonna have a panic attack. Like what I mean?
Yeah, because you stayed till sort of 7, didn't you, when it closed?
Yeah,
so
they dragged me out.
Noticeably quieter. Did it get noticeably quieter?
It did. Yeah,
I
could.
Sir, get out of the ATST. It's fine.
Pew pew.
No, you'll never take me.
Yeah, you just try to get me out of this. You don't want me to leave, but they did want me to leave. Yeah, they really did.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, and I think that, I mean, obviously it was fantastic for celebration to have it over Easter weekend, but it meant that, normally if it was on a normal weekend, then a Friday or Monday would probably be quieter because people don't want to take a day off work to go to it. So this was a bit of a weird one, but I think normally if it's not over a holiday weekend, then the Friday or the Monday would normally be a bit quieter, I think, and Saturday I would say would be like the most packed one. But it was okay. It was I think like Ian said, that most of the time you didn't feel, and I think just everyone was in like really friendly, really courteous, really like good mood. I don't think there was any bad blood or anything. Not that we saw. Everyone was very.
No, it was really good.
Like,
generally, it was one of the only days of my adult life where I've not gone, you bellend.
And I didn't hear you say cunt once. To be honest, I was really shocked. I thought you only do it on stream.
Yeah,
you don't swear at all. You're like the consummate gentleman in real life.
Yeah. Because when I'm surrounded by Star Wars, I'm a happy man. I'm fine.
Yeah,
there's nothing
good
cutting
people.
Me off like real
Star
life,
Wars.
Like real life.
You were
exactly.
happy as a sandboy. You didn't have anything to complain about.
Exactly. I was like a happy little Tuscan Raider. It was fantastic.
And then
like this girl, she, just even the simple angle she took made it look so good. Like
yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, she was cool. She was cool.
Yeah, like the photographers were bang on. They were fantastic.
Yeah, it's nice they make an effort because they know that people they queue up for these things. They want a good picture, and it's nice they make the effort.
Yeah, I thought when we first walked in that these were going to be, you have your photo taken with their stuff, and they go, do you know when you go to you go to like the history
Disney
museum and they go, do you want to come around here and go, oh, there's a dinosaur, 60 quid, and it's a real shit picture.
Yeah.
I was expecting, is it going to be like that? But the fact they were like, give us your phone, bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
You got loads. Can't praise it enough.
No.
It was really
Don't say that too loud because the next time, that's exactly what they'll do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy organising Celebration Japan's like, this is a podcast, and some guy in the UK said we should do this.
So the caption here is, aren't you a little fat for a stormtrooper? Yes, definitely. But the helmet
100%.
fitted. This was in the is it De Novo, the expensive helmet thing. So this was earlier in the day before we met up with Shane, and that's me and Ian trying on the A New Hope stormtrooper helmet.
Best comment so far. Sunday was rough. I saw a Jawa stabbed. Brilliant.
Love it.
Absolutely brilliant.
But yeah, this was nice. This was I think it was $400, wasn't it? This one.
The only thing I think was the only comment I can make about the helmets and stuff in there is they were all fantastic. But when you're wandering round a convention hall full of people who are dressed up, you kind of go, £400, fucking hell,
Yeah.
that's expensive. And then we talked to this guy in this absolutely phenomenal Mando outfit, and he
Yeah.
went, yeah, helmet, £40, sanded it down, painted it
Yeah,
up.
3D printed.
like-
Yeah.
Because actually, I was expecting. I've never seen one of these helmets in person before,
No.
and I was expecting not so much detail on the inside, but there to be more padding and more
Yeah, there was
bits in
nothing.
there to make it more comfortable.
No.
But it was no different than.
Could you see out through
helmet
this?
printed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could see out
Could
of
you
it.
see
It wasn't,
good?
It wasn't the things I'd take my glass off, put it on, but so
Yeah.
I could see
Right.
fuck all really, but I could
Yeah.
see through the lenses.
It had the
Yeah.
green lens, didn't it? But it was like when
Yeah.
you looked inside, it was almost just like a rectangle green, just sort of stuck to the
Yeah.
back of it. So it looked really cheap inside.
Right. So it's like a strip of something
Kind
stuck
of.
onto
That's what it looked like to me. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Because
like
I've got
clear
a
vinyl
Shepperton
that they
Studios, right, and
Yeah.
that's from the molds, like,
Yeah.
and it cost it was an arm and a leg,
Yeah.
and it looks great when it's put on stuff, and I've kind of got used to limited sight through it, but
Yeah.
I'm walking around and it's like I really wish I could see more. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's there's something I surely have to talk to someone in the fire first, and they'll be able to point me in the right direction. But yeah, I was
Yeah.
curious.
Oh,
so
we
is-
couldn't answer. We had it on for like
Yeah.
20 seconds. We didn't move. So,
Mhm.
you know, it's, yeah, but
Mm.
it
I've
looked
got
good
a
on the outs.
Stormtrooper helmet that I bought in a
Yeah.
fucking second-hand toy shop, and it's a one someone started to put together as a cosplay thing, and actually inside that is no different to inside these.
You're right,
It was
right.
the same.
Yeah.
So I was just expecting for £400, and it looks fantastic.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong.
It's the
Yeah.
same as the Shepperton, because when I got it, I was like, this looks pretty damn empty.
Yeah.
So if you're wearing it for a full day, you know, you are going to have to get foam and pad it up to make
Yeah.
it sit on your head better,
Yeah.
and even like something over the nose so that the plastic doesn't cut into you. And the main thing is like those lenses, because they're bubble. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
there's a Velcro thing, you'd stick it on and off, but
Right.
it looks the business. But I respect those cosplayers wearing that stuff for the whole day. Like,
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. None of
Very
that
much
nice
so.
padding that the Luke helmet's got, like the Luke Stormtrooper disguise one. None of that, and electronics and stuff in there. Although obviously the voice changer things are really good, weren't they? Have you got one of those for yours, Shane? Or?
no. I
Mhm.
think if I was ever to go down that route, I'd have to do the basics first, make the helmet more comfortable. I'd be able
Yeah.
to see out through it. Just
Yeah.
do the research and get it done, like
Yeah.
before I could even justify getting any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I did actually speak to someone. He was standing next to me and his helmet off, and I
Mhm.
said, "Sorry, is that a Shepperton?" And I asked him a few questions about mods and
Yeah.
stuff, and he told me that like he'd swapped out the gloves. That was the first thing he did, because the gloves are like they're essentially black marigold, and because of the nature of like the way your moisture gathers and stuff, moisture and sweat gathers inside there, your knuckles will start to cut. So the first thing he did was
Right.
he got just black biker gloves, just
Yeah.
neutral, and he took the plastic things off the
It's just
marigolds and
just
stuck
like
them
a
on.
pad that sticks on the back, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So he got all that shit done. Like he just sewed on the Velcro and then did all that. And then he was saying it is hard to see out of his because he hadn't any modded that. But he took off the glove and he had like wires going to each of his fingertips, right? And there was a Bluetooth speaker in his helmet that he stuck on, and he was able to just like with his thumb touch any of the different 4 fingertips and give a command, so be like blast them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cool.
There they are, over there. It was so
Yeah.
he just doesn't even have to speak. He's just like,
That's
Yeah.
you know.
brilliant.
And he had his E11 modded as well, so you could actually look into the viewfinder,
Nice.
and it like it was on another level. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, Stephen's on form tonight. He said it's a lot of money. Some old boy showed me his helmet in the toilets for free.
What happens at celebration stays
Yeah.
at celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah. A few droids. There were a lot of really cool fan built remote control droids around, and R2, R5, and a pit droid riding a little go kart. He was brilliant, wasn't he?
Yeah.
His legs were going round. His head was looking about.
The best thing was we were standing outside. So when you came out of the celebration shop, there was like a little bit of a like corridor they built. We're standing there waiting for your mate to come out the shop, and R2D2 was coming along, and it looks fantastic. And then it literally pivots on the spot, heads towards this woman, and normally they built it so it's playing the Imperial March and the Star Wars theme tune and stuff like that. Instantly switches to Barry White and goes up to this woman. It was the best thing I'd seen all day. It was so fucking funny.
As in Barry White was playing from the speaker.
Through the speaker.
Oh, that is deadly.
Yeah, it was class. Like, it was brilliant. But the droids were fantastic, and a lot of these were they were showing you how they made them, and one of the booths had like a 3D printer set up that was kind of printing some bits off, and I was so impressed with it. So
I'd
good.
love,
Like
I'd
the
love-
R2 particularly.
I'd love a 1-to-1
fantastic.
R2. Amazing.
Definitely.
But,
What was that?
these-
Did you see the
these are-
projector they did a while ago? It was a DVD
Yeah.
player. It was an R2
Yes.
projector.
Yes, I remember
And
that.
they go for an absolute fortune now, but they were.
Really?
Yeah, I think you'd open up the second blue strip on his chest, and that's where you'd put the DVD.
The DVD or whatever.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. But yeah, these were cool, and people were just, they were walking behind them, but at such a distance that you could just imagine that they weren't.
They were really
they
good
were
at
just-
blending in.
They were.
You really had to look to see who was holding like a control or.
Yeah,
or like
and I think because it's such an
joystick.
iconic thing, you just accept that is R2, and he's doing his own thing.
Yeah,
Very
the
cool.
R5 was great as well.
Yeah, that was really cool. These two guys were fantastic.
They were great, weren't they? Like some of the cosplays were absolutely phenomenal. Some of them were really janky, but they worked really well.
Yeah.
And then you had others like this that were just. I mean, these two guys. Like I think they were probably really thankful it wasn't the middle of summer.
Yeah.
Because they would have just melted.
But they look like they just walked off the set of like The Mandalorian. Don't they?
Mm-hmm.
They're fantastic.
They were really.
That's
good.
the thing, actually. The cosplayers, it was nearly insulting to call them cosplayers. Like it didn't look like they're dressing up for Halloween, whatever. It looked like they just walked off the set. Looked just like you said.
Yeah.
Because there was once or twice I saw an amazing Cody and a Shore Trooper and a Cad Bane, and I went to say, I really like your, and I got tongue tied as in, if it's not, don't insult this person by saying costume or cosplay. It's just, I didn't know what to say. Like it was like, I suppose nice armor or something. It just looked so good.
Yeah,
and there was a couple of fantastic Chewies. I know we're going to obviously do your show tomorrow, Shane. You got some pictures of the Chewies and stuff, but they were fantastic, and they were on their stilts and sweating their asses off, but they looked so. The faces on those just look, they're so good. Those Chewies, just amazing.
One of my favourites was the Quagmire droid from Blue Heart.
Oh yeah,
that we saw wandering around. Fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There was lots of Matt the radar technician as well from SNL. That was, I saw a few of them and I thought, yeah, that's good. That's good.
There was the pink pants guy as well. I had to Google this.
Who was that?
I saw this guy walking along. He was walking around. He was wearing pink shorts and he was topless and he had something around his shoulder, and then he was holding like a boom mic as if he was doing sound.
Right.
The guy from Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, I had to Google it and realize.
Is that who it was?
Yeah,
it was so hot
behind the scenes. It's from a behind the scenes thing.
Apparently, it's from when they went from standard to widescreen. So a lot of, and it happens quite a lot with older films, is they were shot in a certain aspect ratio, and then as technology advanced, and they've gone, actually, we can extend the picture out. You have these guys who are like sound guys or like who are just part of the crew who end up.
They would have been in the clear normally.
Yeah. Who are now in shot, and I think that was one of them of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's one of the biggest tragedies in home movies is pan and scan. So glad that is a thing of the past, and we get to see things as they were shot, meant to be seen nowadays. I get why they did it, but yeah, the first time that, like when they first released Star Wars on widescreen, I was I was blown away on VHS, because it's a different experience. So just some more. This is a Commando. This is not the one from. This is a different one to the one we had a picture taken with later on. He was really good. Somebody's creation of what Grogu could be looking like. It's pretty cool. It's pretty good. I like it.
No. I hope people actually get that, otherwise they look a bit silly.
Yeah, definitely. But that was funny. I was like, how has he not just turned around and punched him in the face?
Parenting.
Yeah.
I actually loved it. It just got me. I was laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
And the girlfriend was kind of like, I know this is funny. I can see the humour in it. But it's not that funny. And I was going, yes.
Oh, it really is.
It's exactly what a kid would do. Just keep flicking that switch like constantly. And then the really cool, as I say, cosplay maybe is doing him a disservice, but young Han Solo and his probably his girlfriend, his wife, arresting him, Imperial officer. Just some really cool things that people were doing. Some great, what we assume are most probably 1-to-1 scale models. We've got the ATST. I think that's like the one from the Mando, isn't it, with the red legs, and that a TIE fighter was really cool, and obviously a lot of pilots and stuff buzzing around there all day.
The TIE fighter was probably the place to meet.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of, when they were meeting anyone, was like, we meet by the TIE fighter. Mm-hmm. And it was really well done. Really well done.
Yay, we've enabled him. Yay, well done, Captain.
Yeah, you're ours now.
Yeah, no, that was good. There was a lot of space around there, wasn't there? And there was, you could quite easy to. That's where we met up with Shane.
Some great photo opportunities there as well.
Yeah.
How often?
Yeah.
Like it could be a once in a lifetime opportunity to get a photo into what looks like a 1-to-1.
Definitely. Yeah, I think it's sort of like it's difficult when you're down at ground level. You think, is the cockpit a bit small? But I think it probably was a 1-to-1. Because it's very small anyway. The cockpit. There's not a lot of space around the pilot, and that was really.
The
cool.
AT-80 wasn't a 1-to-1.
No, that's about the only one they could. Yeah,
they'd be building that for months.
Yeah,
like.
Yeah, that wouldn't have fitted in there. So that you let them off on that one, but I think pretty much everything else was true scale. Yeah, this was like this is just on the. If anyone wants to have a look, Droid Builders Germany, the ones that had built the R2 that was driving around, and
they had so much stuff.
Yeah, they did.
I was really impressed with all the stuff they had. They had a whole so they had a booth, and they had a whole section that kind of wrapped round with all the different droids. They had droidicas, they had the pit droids, everything you could think of. They had it. They had the probe droid and the torch droid from
torch droid, and mouse droids, and
I looked at the mouse droids and I was like, I wonder how much they are, because they looked.
They are really iconic, aren't they? And they're quite big, aren't they? They're quite a big thing.
But they looked very printable, and that got me thinking. Yeah. And I was like, I could do with a mouse droid.
So this one got you excited, Ian. I haven't watched Rebels yet. But you can tell us what this is.
So when I saw it from a distance, I thought, that's really cool. They've redone it life size. So at the end of, a bit of a spoiler one, but at the end of Rebels, Sabine paints this big mural of them all, and at that point when we first saw it, we hadn't seen the Ahsoka trailer, and we knew Ahsoka was getting a TV series. And when we went up to it, there was a little kind of plaque next to it saying "has seen in the new TV series Ahsoka." So I was like, it's the actual mural that they've painted for that and brought it along. The attention to detail was fantastic on it. A really good bit, and it's massive. The picture doesn't really give you a true size of scale, but if you were standing in front of it, each person painted on it is about the size of a person.
Life-size. Yeah. It was just like a
Like
whole
Seb at the back is fucking huge.
Like
it's
three big lumps of rock. Yeah, it was really good. So.
It's really good. They
I will
had
get
loads
there
of stuff
eventually.
like that. They had loads of bits like that, all kind of speckled about the place. So it was great.
It's nice to, so I haven't watched it yet. I will get to it, but it's good that they're linking everything up, just little small little bits and pieces. So yeah, that's good. Shane will be back in a second. This is one of the first things we saw, isn't it? There was a prop store, and they were just kind of advertising their auctions and things like that. So some very expensive.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because those photos of those sabres, look really good in this photo. They look fantastic.
Yeah.
When you walked up to them and you had a look, they were all chips. They looked really low. If you'd gone round and you'd found someone cosplaying as Darth Maul and said, compare your sabre to this screen-used one that's in that cabinet, you would look at it and go, the one in the cabinet is the cosplayer's one, and the one that's walking around is the one that was used in the show, in the film. I was so surprised. Even some of the later sabres, how janky they looked. Because I'm so used to looking at toys and recreations of these particular items that are made to a display standard, as opposed to an actual, we're going to give it to an actor and get them to beat the shit out of it.
They do. And they could just be a big lump of rubber, so they don't hurt each other with them and stuff like that.
It makes sense, though, as well, doesn't it? Because when you're watching like the Duel of Fates or Bespin, you're always, your eyes drawn to the brightest part of the screen, which is the lightsaber. So you never really look at the handle, even if most of it's covered up. So it's probably like, okay, we can save a few quid here and put it into
and I think, to be honest, you'd probably struggle.
I agree with your point, though.
You'd probably struggle to do a lot of the more acrobatic stuff with the ones you could buy that are metal and really heavy, and you need something that's lighter and I think they're not. They look like they're smaller. The diameter of the hilts look smaller and stuff. So, but I mean, they were right. They were saying these would go for like 15,000-20,000.
Yeah.
There's two episode 1.
Do you remember the old sabres that you would flick out?
Yeah.
And they get. That's what they reminded me of.
Yeah, it does. Especially this one here, where it's got like the small blade, because it's only got part of it.
Yeah.
And you've got two different flavours of what's his face? Mace Windu. So that motherfucker had 3 until he finally got his one that said bad motherfucker on it.
Yeah.
That's episode 1 on the left, episode 2 on the right, and then he gets his more better known one. But
is that some sort of a rock there? I can't make.
Yeah, I think that's one of the asteroids from Empire.
Oh, right.
I'd love to know how they can prove that. Someone's just been down to the fucking beach and gone.
Yeah, because there was all sorts, wasn't there?
I sold 3 of them. I sold 3 of them outside the Excel on the Saturday.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're from Empire.
Yeah, this potato was the very one that was in that scene.
Yeah, this is the one. Do you know, I've been in my freezer for 40 years.
I don't know what the estimate was on the 3PO head with light up eyes, but I do remember.
I can tell
because of the numbers, the ceremony dress at the end of New Hope, Leia's dress. The estimate on this was £1 to £2 million.
Fucking hell.
That's a lot of money. How much was the 3PO head? You got it. You got a picture of the.
I'll have to zoom in on it now, but so I got the video and I'm trying to screen grab it. But I can tell you a story about the. Do you know in front of the? I think it's the green one there. I think it's. See the green blade in front of that. There's a little Star Destroyer. I think it's a Super Star Destroyer.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That looks like it looked like an Airfix basically. Yeah. That's what it looked like to me, and that was apparently one of the models they used. That said 10 to 20,000. And earlier on the Friday, I was standing there. I just got in. I was just looking at it in awe, going, "This is tiny and it looks like an Airfix." But this was used in the original trilogy. This is amazing. And this guy next to me was like, "Oh my god!" He was talking to his friends, like, "Man, look at that, 10 to 20,000." And I was like, "Yeah, the problem is, to build a fleet, you'd need at least 2." No one laughed, and I just turned and I walked away. It was like, because I said it so deadpan, I think he thought I was actually serious. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I'll see if I can get this. Sorry. Where is it?
I love that. In fact, I think I remember taking a photo of that as well.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's just cut. Oh, hang on. 500,000 to 1 million.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, right.
Well, it had Anthony Daniels' head in it, supposedly. So
Imagine how much his ass cost.
Yeah. Yeah. They did have underneath the lightsabers. They had his feet and some other the neck collar and stuff like that. But they're like fiberglass or something, aren't they? They're really because they cut him to pieces, a bit like the stormtrooper suits, I think. And then I just cut the random pictures of some of the stalls. A lot of vintage stuff on display. If you wanted it, they had it, kind of thing. From reasonable money to absolute fortunes for.
There were some stalls that were really, really taking the piss.
Yeah.
In hindsight, that
like
Han
acrylic.
Solo wasn't bad.
Oh,
No, it
do you know-
wasn't.
Because
Shut
I
up.
went
should have
home.
texted you.
Yeah, I went home and I checked the sold items, and the sold items for used A New Hope Han Solo, and they were all around the £600 mark. So 475
Wow.
wasn't. That was probably the
was
best
new.
price thing that I saw personally. But
Yeah.
I was going to message you last night, and
Yeah.
I got caught up, and then by the time it had sold, one loose on bids last night went for £220.
Oh god, that's nothing. That's nothing.
Yeah.
And then if you really
No.
wanted, you could probably, if you wanted the box, you could go get that. And if you wanted to build that, I know people
Yeah.
do that. I know Graham from the Jedi Knights Watch. Sometimes I remember he got a figure before, and it had everything, and it was fine. And he actually just wanted the box as well, and got the box separately and for like, I don't know, half the price or 75% of the price, something like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. See.
220.
Yeah. That's good. This is it Jazzware's Micro Squadron.
Yeah.
I think they've been around for a couple of years. I wasn't really aware of them.
I
But
dropped my
make-
foot. I put my foot right in it. The guy came over and said, "Are you from a podcast?" I went, "Yeah." I said, "I've never heard of you guys before. Like, I'm not aware of you guys." And he went, "Really?" He said, "We do Pokemon, we do this, we do that." Da, 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 da. I was like, as soon as he said Pokemon, I thought, well, actually, I've probably got fucking boxes full of your stuff because my boy's mad on Pokemon.
But that's
Yeah.
probably the best thing you could have said.
Yeah.
Playing hard to get with him. It's like,
Yeah.
you know.
I don't know who you are.
yeah.
Come on.
No, really,
Tell me
Don't
what you're all
woo
about.
me.
Yeah. I usually
these-
interview much bigger people. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Howard Chan are like that.
So they basically they make all these cool vehicles, and they're scaled to kind of like the figures are about an inch tall, and they're really cool. They look really good, and you can bend the legs on them so you can get them into the seats and stuff. The Falcon was
Thing
really
I-
nice. That's the one that I
Yeah.
picked up.
The
So
thing
the
I
action
noticed,
fleet scale, aren't they?
yeah,
They're like the micro. If you remember the micro machines
Yeah,
action
yeah.
fleet, I think they're
Yes.
very similar
Yeah.
scale, if not the same.
the thing that kind of struck me about them all was, and it's not so much the Falcon there, like the Falcon, they've gone and put loads of painted detail in. It looks great, but when you look at like the AT-ATs and the AT-STs, and you look at some of the other vehicles, obviously Star Wars vehicles are grey. They're very grey. Luckily, a lot of plastic is grey, so they don't bother painting much. But there wasn't a lot of painted detail in there, and I was like looking at it, thinking, and I can't help it. That's how I look at stuff. Is I look at stuff and go, could I paint that? Could I? What? How good's the paint? Could it be improved? And I was like, just a wash. I mean, because that Falcon there, that's just had a black wash over it. That's all. It's not had anything else. You put that black wash on those other vehicles in the picture, they will pop. Like, they had loads of sculpted detail that they just didn't take that much advantage of.
Yeah.
Because even there, that big wall full of them. Like every
Yeah,
like,
I got a
they
couple
had
of
so
pictures
many
of
Star
those.
Wars vehicles.
What struck me, I think, so the Falcon had lights and sound, the engines lit up and everything. And I think what I've seen from when did a bit of research into them is that the the Falcon, so the back comes off, the cockpit opens, and that's all very plain grey plastic. But people have done repaints on those, and they really, really pop. You know, they look really good. You know, that's £40 the Falcon. I think the ATATs are about 60. Most of the normal ships are 25. And a lot of people are saying that they're really accurately proportioned because of the small size of them. They haven't got to compromise in areas and make things smaller or make gaps smaller. So they're saying that, you know, actually the proportions on the Falcon are pretty much bang on. You know, and you can also, you can very, you know, for a few £100, you can make a really cool diorama that you couldn't do at any other scale. So I was really impressed with them, and I have been looking at, you know, maybe picking them up. As you described on your video that you took, Shane, it's a bit difficult to make them out because it's backlit. But I think even from the silhouettes, people can make out what most of these are. And a lot of these are about £20 a go.
Looked fantastic.
Yeah,
like, it looked really good.
Yeah. And they all come with figures. You know, tiny little figures, but they're really well detailed, and they will sit in the seats and things like that. So, yeah, I thought they were really good. You were chatting to the boss man, weren't you? And you put him in touch with Zach,
I inadvertently
because Zach's got the Razor Crest.
I don't know who you are.
Zach unboxed the Razor Crest on Monday night, and that was really good, and he was really happy with that. And he's quite you know, into the Razor Crest. He's got quite a few. He's got the HasLab one and stuff like that, and he said it's really well done. So yeah, I think they're really good. I don't know how I suppose because we're very much the 1/6 scale, so these things pass us by sometimes. But yeah, I thought that was really good.
Celebration really did make me appreciate some of the smaller scale things, and actually when I look at, we're getting onto £300 for a figure. Well, actually, you know, looking at say that Endor bunker there and what they've done there, you for the same price you can do a whole dio of stuff. It's piqued my interest with some of the smaller stuff. Yeah, I think there's definitely room to pick up.
Yeah, and you've also got that. So these are all the vintage collection 3.75 inch scale. As we've said, they've come a long way. The posability, the detail, and you know, these dioramas look great. And I don't think they look, you know, they don't look like cheap toys. And you're going to get figures that you'll never ever see in 6 scale. You know, they've got like the whole Max Rebo band over here. You know, all sorts of them, and that's the. I don't know if it was HasLab. I think it was Kickstarter back then, wasn't it? The sail barge that goes for like thousands now, and it was huge, and it looked brilliant.
I mean, that sail barge was massive. Like when you look at, it's a shame because you can't kind of. I mean, look, you can make the guy out. In fact, the guy that looks suspiciously like Zach, just above that's it there. That kind of gives you a glimpse of how big that is, because that is a decent
Come on,
size.
let's do it. Yeah. Yes, you're right, Steve. Yeah. 3.75. Someone could say that's probably 2 inches too much. So you know,
far too much.
Yeah, definitely. Really impressed with that. I love this display here with the smaller skiff vehicles as well. That looked really cool. So yeah, just gonna cycle through some. That's the Boba Fett. I mean, it's very small on there, but that's the Boba Fett that you loved. Really dynamically posed.
If they had that Boba Fett for sale then and there, it would have been coming home with me.
Yeah, and you know these are because I was checking out some of these in local shop, and that Gamorrean guard is fantastic. He's got the real fur kind of pants, skirt, whatever you want to call it. I mean, they're getting up there. They're about £35 in the UK for these. But these are the 6-inch ones, and the detail on them is brilliant. And you know, if you think that you know that's the price of 6 of those is a hot toy,
£45 for Bobber off of Amazon.
Yeah. So you know, you could get 4 or 5 of these for the price of a fairly basic hot toy. So I can see why people are moving towards these. I mean, I'd always find it difficult to not have the 6 scale because I like the soft goods and I like the detail and stuff. But these are really, I mean, Stormtrooper. I absolutely love this. This looks so good. The Chewie looks great. Yeah, so these are kind of like all the new ones. They've all the 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi sort of new releases that are coming out. Yeah, I've got the Hasbro. As Kathleen said, the Hasbro Indie figure with the washers and weathers.
Yeah, they had those there as well.
Yeah, I've got one coming from Amazon on Monday, because all the shops, they had all the other characters but no indies. They all went like really, really fast. So yeah, just some more TVC stuff, Mandalorian, Clone Wars. You can get the whole band, Cantina band now. They do like these. So there's a set there. There's a set here with some goons from like Jabba's palace. There's also and you can get, this is the Navarro Cantina, which is really cool. This, I think that's from is it from Rogue One, and also I think we first saw this transport thing, didn't we? Rogue One, I think it was.
So I can get Bob off of Amazon now for 50 quid, and it'll turn up tomorrow.
Nice.
Other sellers on Amazon, 36 quid.
Yeah, so they're about 35 new. So obviously, that if you can get one for around that price, that would be good.
It just looks so cool.
This is the stuff I like. This is the retro collection. I know it's a little bit. Some people don't like the idea that they're kind of remaking the retro stuff, and they stick this massive. If they didn't stick the massive great retro sticker on, I think they'd be more popular. But it's a way of them, saying, look, these aren't the originals. They've got, they're a recreation. They weather up the cardboard, and they put this sticker on. And obviously, the weird thing is that the Mandalorian line, they never were retro figures, so they're new figures made to look like the old ones. But the ones I like are the New Hope ones. So I've got the first 6. They released them as Hasbro Pulse released them in a box set. They'd been available individually before, but they're great. And I think the set was £75 for 6 figures. You can't go wrong with that.
No,
and I've been looking for the second set. And
if that had been available on the day, I think I might have. There would have been a moment of weakness, definitely.
So they're sold out.
It's a nice. I like the idea as well.
You'd have to chase one on the black market, but they've been
on the dark web. You don't accept dodgy cryptos.
There you go. Ian, Star Action Figures, Boba 35, and that's good. I've bought stuff from them before.
I am.
Yeah, so this is what I've been waiting for. And again, unfortunately, they've teased it, but it wasn't available on the day, so I'm checking Hasbro Pulse on a daily basis because they're filtering a lot. There's a lot of stuff's come out. We're not going to go through it all because that's kind of more a small talk thing. We're just going to looking at what we saw and everything. So yeah, the second lot of that completes the first 12 figures. So this set here with 3PO, R2, Kenobi, the Death Star Commander, the Jawa, and the Tusken Raider. So I'm snapping that up. I expect it probably be more like 80, 85 now with the way price of stuff's gone, but I still think it's pretty good for 6 figures. And I want to make them into sort of like a poster that I'll put on the wall when I've got all 12 of them. But I really like them. Very nostalgic. And they did these 2 packs of the bounty hunters. So the first one was the Dengar, the IG-88. Then they did Boba Fett and Bosk. Boba Fett had been available on his own, and then the newest one, which I think launches this month, is the Zuckuss and the Forlom. So if you like your bounty hunters, you can get those as 2 packs. I really like them, and obviously, at 15 quid a pop, or whatever, they're nice and cheap, nice to have. So you'd be tempted, would you, Shane, with these guys?
Yeah, I think it was. We spoke about this on the day that show, The Toys That Made Us. I watched some stuff on YouTube, like in the last for years, really bits and pieces, old news reports and stuff like that. But I think when I watched that show, they'd stitched together a lot of things from various different sources, some of which I'd seen before and some I hadn't. But I hadn't known the background that it was kind of basically a pre-order and
Yeah.
The movie hadn't come out yet, and they had to wait like, I don't know, a year or whatever. But that kind of started it all, really, didn't they? Like, and
I think the story was
yeah.
that they wanted them out for Christmas. They weren't ready, so you bought a box and you had the display stand, and I think they came out probably more like the April, May of the next year.
Because up to that point, Kenner hadn't really made anything other than like weird games. Like they weren't a huge toy company as they turned out to be, and they kind of undercut everyone at the last minute.
Well, everyone turned it down, didn't they?
No one wanted to touch it.
Yeah.
And George Lucas at the time was like, they laughed their tits off at him that he said, you know, I won't take a big chunk of money, but I'll have licensing rights for toys and accessories, all that kind of stuff, and that's where he really made his millions. Was all off of that
vision.
And that became the norm, didn't it? But they're really nice, and so I'm looking forward to
because it's
that.
It's a funny thing, really. Like, I mean, like when I first started collecting hot toys, in terms of the scale and the detail and the accuracy and the realness of them, I was like, all right, this is ticking all the boxes I want ticked. I'm never going to go back and buy a carded Obi-Wan for 10 grand.
No,
because
no,
I
and
don't
they had
have
them there,
the money.
didn't they?
And
they had them there in their slabs.
That was some of the most interesting stuff I've seen. Was, oh my god, this has been here for 50 years and nearly. I think that's amazing. But to give a nod to where it all started, because I do like going back to Origins, this box and stuff like that. That'd be something that I could probably entertain the thought of. Like, you know, it's
that scratches an itch for me. I don't want to go back. I don't want to be. I haven't got that sort of money. And like I was saying to Ian, like, you know, what level do you go in? Do you go with the 10 grand one that's spotless, or do you go with one that's, you know, got a little nick in it, or the plastic's been opened and that's 5 grand? You know, there's so much range of it all, and I wouldn't want to get into that.
And I don't even know if I have the money. If I had the money, would I even go? Like, let's say you're like a multimillionaire and you don't have to ask the price. I'm not sure. Like, if the price is what you pay, the value is what you get, and it's all subjective. I'm not sure if is this worth it to me. You know, that kind of a way. I suppose I don't know unless I'm in a position. But I, what are you going to look at more? Like the new Hope Obi-Wan, who looks like it's walked off screen, or the guy with the blade coming out of his arm? But I still respect the origins of it.
Just so I'd be really interested to know how many of those figures sold at that show. Like, who's coming to those with these massive, like, wads of 50s or whatever, and because that's what you imagine. That's all cash, you know.
You know what you could do? Like, you could dress up as a Jedi and just stake out that, and you have another guy outside. He's on his way out. And then you have Ian outside with a bat. He's coming out now. Roger that.
Thing is, you kick the shit out of him, and then it would just be like Ralph from The Simpsons. He goes, "I bent my Wookiee."
So it's very interesting to look at, but it'd be interesting to see how many of those sort of, you know, £5,000 plus figures that actually sold on that.
Well, I always find it interesting because these are toys that were meant to be played with that have turned into collectibles, whereas we with the other end where these are made to be hot toys are made to be collectible,
not to be played with,
but not to be played with. So we're right at either end. So that's why I think sometimes it's really hard for us to get our head round paying that sort of money for it, because you know, we respect that, you know, it's mint condition, it's been around for, like you say, 50 odd years, but it's still a toy. It's still designed and made as a toy to be played with, and it, you know, and that's where I think Black Series at the moment is that really weird kind of area where, all right, you know, I could buy that bobber today and give it to my 10-year-old boy, and he will play with it, and it'll be the best toy he's had for ages, and he will run around with it, and great, and it will probably break. Or I could buy it and have it on a shelf and it looks fantastic. Like, it's really weird. They're kind of
both boxes, isn't it?
You've got this stuff at one end, us at the other, and then that kind of stuff floating around in the middle.
So that was it for the photos. So I don't know if you've got any kind of final thoughts you want to share with anybody?
I think I'd never been to any type of convention like that before. I didn't know what to expect. So I kind of went in, and I think we did it the right way by going. We're not going to have a plan. We're just going to go in, see what we see. Look, if there's something there we like, we're going to have a look at it, and not really do any of the panels. I have a fundamental issue with paying a millionaire £250 to sign a piece of paper for me and have a photo taken with him.
Yeah.
I think the smartest guy there was the guy who was selling autographs across the way from where everyone was queuing up, because I was tempted by some of them, because I had a look and I was like, oh, okay, you can queue up over there for 250, or just buy it here for 250 quid because he's got one signed by Ewan McGregor for about that. Like, if I was into autographs, I'd be like, no, I'll just grab this one, thanks. Like, and I get the photos are a big part of it, like having your photo taken with them, but yeah, I think that guy selling, because he had like Jeremy Bullock, and he had loads of different people's signatures. It went from the really well known to, again, like, this man was the boom operator and for one scene. They had a couple of Alec Guinness. That would be the one I'd want. Yeah, but yeah, I was very, very impressed. It was a really good day out. It was great to meet everyone. Yeah, it's just a shame that we couldn't tie up with more of the patrons.
Yeah, Shane, you did better, didn't you? You met up with quite a lot of people.
Yeah,
on Friday.
Yeah, the day before. And I actually, later on that day, I got very lucky because with the Wi-Fi and stuff, yourself, like my data was working and my roaming was working. I wasn't getting charged any extra stuff, and so I had data. But then when I went in the building, just probably because, I don't know, the nature of the building or whatever, that wasn't working. Yeah. And the Wi-Fi, same problem as everyone else. So luckily one of the messages came through that, okay, we're meeting up with the TIE Fighter at 1 on the Friday. Met Lael and his girlfriend, and I met like Austin Nicholas and Reviews at Rich and Bend Attention Seeking Geek, loads of people. I met loads of people, Calvin, Agent Silverfox, so people, YouTubers and people who are in the chat and stuff like that. And then getting to meet you the next day was great. And then when you left, I was just walking around looking at fig pins and stuff like that, and Lael and his missus come around the corner. Oh, cool. And then so does Austin and Calvin. I was like, this is just perfect.
Nice.
Like, this is just perfect. And then I've gone out for dinner with them and having a great night out. So it was
nice. Yeah, ended the day off really nicely.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I knew I'd enjoy it. I knew I'd enjoy the whole thing. Like, even if I went on my own, I'd still think I'd take enough enjoyment out of it. Meeting yourself and the two of you, your friend Mark, and obviously meeting those content creators as well. And on the Friday as well, ran into Justin as well.
I heard that. Yeah, did you?
He just tapped me on the shoulder and I turned around and was like, "Oh, yeah, just it's a bit surreal because I'm watching your videos for a long time as well." And some guy
did he sound normal?
It sounds like he does in the videos.
Like a normal guy.
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
He sounds like he does in the videos, but
I'm just going to the next stall.
Yeah. And I said, "Careful, it's a chunky boy."
Shane, let's get you in the light box and have a look at who you come with.
He was not impressed with my articulation. No, I got to. It was cool. Just meeting everyone and having a beer, and like I said, that area where I felt a bit like, I was having a beer and I was like, oh fuck, I can have a beer anytime, like, but. Because we were all there, we were having a conversation with these people that you've only seen on screen for like a year. And then you have like, I looked over my shoulder and it was like Diego Luna and Tony Gilroy came out, and I was like, I fucking loved Andor. Loved Andor, loved Rogue One. And I was like, listen to them at the same time, have the conversation. Then if you wanted, you could, go over and just wander through the trading village or take a picture with a cosplayer. Like, not one cosplayer over the whole 2 days was reluctant to take a photo. No. Yeah. They want you to ask them to take a photo, and I just loved every minute of it. If I was to go again, well, I think I'm going to do Japan. I'll do the whole 3 days because it's only 3 days then, and I will cosplay one day. I just need to make that armor a bit more comfortable because hats off to the people that spent, I don't know what, 6 hours chafing.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed spending the day with you guys, and it was nice that my mate Mark made it up as well. And just I think, you know, it just was a very relaxed, friendly atmosphere. Everybody was there to have a good time, and you know, it just felt really, really sort of comfortable to be, you know, a space to be. I don't think you were like worrying about anybody or.
Yes, I'd forgotten about that one. Darth Jar Jar.
Darth Jar Jar, yeah.
It's very good.
So yeah, it was really good. Got some nice curry for dinner afterwards because we were wandering around, couldn't find anywhere. Went to a pub, saw the football was on, and walked straight out again. And
it was round, so we were like, no.
Yeah, and then we just spotted a little curry, and that was nice. It was good.
Because the only problem you have with the XL is there isn't really much around it. There's a couple of places, and whenever there's anything on, they always become rammed. So you're always better off just jumping back on the train and going back to London Bridge, and just because there's so much around London Bridge, you might as well just jump off there and have a wander about. Nice little curry in the evening, and then
it was
straight home.
It was a good day. So
I think the day is as stressful as you make it.
Yes.
I mean, if you're there for one day and you've packed in like 3-4 different autographs, you're signing up to that.
You're not going to see much of anything else, are you? Yeah.
Whereas I think the ideal, I don't know where I'm going to be in 2 years' time, but like my intention now is to go to Japan because I'm
that'd be so cool.
I want to go to Japan anyway. Like, I mean, I like going visiting countries. Like, it's on my list, but now that you have an extra reason, it's just like maybe the straw that breaks the camel's back. So I don't know what I end up going, but my intention is to go now. But I think the ideal is spend the first day not cosplaying with nothing organised and just do exactly what we did. Get a feel for the place, you know, walk in, just take everything in, get the general layout.
Yeah.
Take some photos of cosplayers, have a beer, chill out. And then maybe the second day do cosplay, and the third day going, right, I missed that. I want to do this, this, and
I'm
this.
going to go
personally,
and see this panel or something like
maybe
that.
Maybe have a bit more of a a hit list, I suppose. But definitely have a chilled out first day. I think what we did was I really enjoyed it. It was I didn't feel under pressure to do anything, I just really enjoyed walking around.
It was a really casual day. It didn't feel like we were rushing around, and it didn't feel like we missed anything. There wasn't anything that I was like, I really wish we'd done that.
And I like the way that
we wanted.
We all kind of like we just kind of like bounced off. So I'd be talking to Shane, and you were talking to Mark, because Mark's like a massive into Rebels, and so he knows all of that stuff. And I'm like, what are they talking about and everything? So it was just like really, really just cool, like relaxed and nice, and really.
And I wouldn't have queued up for that official store. I would have looked at the queue and went, nope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then, like, I'm glad because it gave us a chance to talk, and also I got to go into the store, and it was like those 2 T-shirts in that patch or something I would have ordered online or something, and it's just nice. Yeah. Because I didn't realize they had the exact T-shirts of every single pass, like. Yeah. And I really liked those designs. So
it was funny because we were kind of we took a bit of a break, and we were kind of just standing chatting, and we stood there for like 20 minutes talking. And then we were like, well, let's go and have a look. And we looked at the queue, and I was a bit like, oh, fucking, it's a bit big. And then Mark was like, we've just stood for 20 minutes just talking, so we might as well jump in. And I was like,
we could have been.
Yeah,
Mark was the smartest one in the group.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
By far.
We could be in there already.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He goes to a lot of these things, and he's been to Disneyland and stuff a lot, so he's probably quite savvy on like queuing and bits and things like that. No, it was really good. It was really good. So that's it, and we'll be on with Shane tomorrow night. On 1/6 Figure Focus, and
we're going to have the exact same conversation tomorrow.
It might be a slight, you got a lot of different photos and stuff, so we'll be going through your photos.
I'm not allowed to swear on your channel, so it will be.
Oh no, you are. You know, you get a pass. You get a pass. It's all right.
He's the only one.
I know, it's. I'm kind of like, because I'm a school teacher. It's like it's inevitable that they're going to find it. So I do have
Yeah.
to kind of watch. Like,
Yeah.
the odd swear word is not the end of the world. Like, but I do have to kind of watch
Yeah.
what I
Yeah,
talk about. It just takes one GIF to ruin a career
Yes. Yes.
out of context,
Yeah.
So yeah, we started the show with this, saying a massive thank you to the Collecting Weekly Patreons. You paid for our tickets to go to Celebration, and we're very grateful for that. And hopefully that you've enjoyed the show, and you feel that you kind of got your money's worth out of us there. We thought it was very, very good. So, we've got Ian Seaby, Rennie Mendes, Eric Mariscal, Quinn Aguirre, King Louis, Mark Pearson, Paul Schreiber, Equan, Chris Van Serena, Ben Thomas, Chris Leddy, David Jones, Sam Gist, Dominator, Joel Breda, Thomas Clark, Eric Switzer, Six Guns Figs, Badfish, Toy Cartel, Danny Lee, Deanie Martin, Stephen Crett, Big Fern, Stephen Mariquin, Mark Phillips, Lisa Martin Bomonsky, Rick De Gregorio, John the Everyday Collector, Ricardo Valdez, Jose CZ, Owen Asusina, the Illustrious Rainer, Alid Morgan, Takar3, Wah, Derek Brzezinski, Iris Portillo, Mark Randolph, Alvin J, Jazz Carroll, Joe Ridley, Pablo Mazer, D-Rock, Matt Clevenger, Seth Tucker, CC3PO. Apparently CC was she was at the show. I saw a lot of pictures with her. Oh, you did? That's cool. Yeah.
Let me get this right. Yeah, so.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. So
oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so,
that's great. Yeah, you did
cool.
really well. Scott Smith, Don Maton, Jimmy James, Stephen Purchase, Sean Yahtzee, Scott Bradley, Stephen Rhea Stanley, Eddie Manzanares, Louis Bennett, Chip Perrin, Jimmy Hernandez, Gigi Judgmental, and Brenton Palmer. Again, brilliant. Thanks, legends. If you are not a patron, you want to join up, I've put the link in the chat. We've got the hot seat, $5 a month, gets you digital stickers and Ox After Dark replay, also access to the Patreon chat, which I believe gets quite lively, and you'll get about 4,000 notifications a day if you're on it. So if you've got nothing to do, that's so good. I've always resisted the urge to join it because I think it would just blow my phone up. $7.50 a month gets you the Sweet Angel tier, which gets you a physical sticker sent straight to your door, as well as access to Ox After Dark replay as before. Crispy tier is $15 a month, gets you a certified Crispy certificate on first pledge and all the benefits of the previous tiers. And the Water Guy, $25 a month, gets you exclusive Pog Deluxe set on first pledge, doubles all the stickers, so you can send them to your family and friends, and all the benefits of the previous tiers. The April Patreon benefit is the OFAC celebration sticker, although you've sent them out, but obviously we don't know what the post is doing. So
sent them out a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
just
hopefully they'll get there. If not, Zach's I think he's sending stuff out on the 22nd. So all they might do is bump another sticker for April, and then you'll get this one in May. But yeah. That's available to all the patrons. That's a pretty cool sticker, I think. It's one to cherish.
I've got about 50 of the fuckers to cherish.
Yeah, I know. I sort of... it was a bit difficult to kind of like just sort of randomly give... It's not a very British thing to do, I think. It was a bit like... I gave one to like that... The lady I was talking to at the Jazzwares thing, and she was like, "Oh, yeah," she probably threw it in the bin. I don't know. It's difficult. And I gave a couple to like the what was the name of the guy that you met us with, Shane?
Austin.
Austin.
Yeah, Austin. Yeah. He got a sticker, and there was another guy who came up to us, didn't he? He'd recognised you, Shane, and then he was talking about collecting weekly.
I can't remember. He did. I don't know. Did he give his name? He didn't give his YouTube handle.
No,
but he was from the States.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
He was just up the road from Zach and that.
Right.
Just up the road from Texas, weren't he?
Yeah. So he got.
I can picture him. I just can't remember his name.
Yeah.
No.
I can't remember his name either.
Yeah, but that was quite cool. That was our little minor celebrity moment.
Yeah, it was surreal.
Yeah.
Surreal.
YouTube channel members, we've got Mojo Z78, Absolute Irwin, LV Avenger 702, OMFG Rick, S Beam, Andres IB, Daminator, Zam Gist, Thomas Clark, Benjamin Hanson, Chris V, Big Old Fern, Cram, Alvin J, OG Fan, Mark Pearson, Ben Thomas, Paul Schreiber, Andrew Gibo, CC3PO, Carlito, CT603, Eddie Mendez, B Chan, Fat Batman, Justin Sports Card Museum, Philip the Fall, Kinky Spinkter, Universal Key, Eclectic Collector, Takar 3, Single Songwriter, Jake, Zeke, Equan, The Everyday Collector, DJ, Toy Cartel, KJ Smith, Adrian Iguire, Knight, Slifer, and Baby Boy 562. Thank you all for your support. If you're a Patreon, you can become a YouTube channel member for 99 cents a month. Gets you loyalty badges, emojis, and member shout-outs on the show. Or if you're not a Patreon, you can still be a YouTube channel member. It's $2.99 a month and gets you all the perks from the Patreon level. We have TeePublic. The latest, greatest design on there is the OFAC Celebration 2023. So you can order your T-shirt there if you fancy commemorating our momentous trip to Celebration 2023. So I'll put a link in the chat there. And then final slide, Ian, take us to the network.
Yeah. So this is the network. This is us. This is everyone. This is a group of people that you really wouldn't want to meet in a dark alley. But you've got Collecting Weekly live unboxing. Clues in the title, really. They unbox things live with some white gloves, which is always a interesting take. You've got After Dark, which is only legally allowed to be on once the sun goes down. As soon as dawn hits, the show just melts. Collectors Club, which is just about collecting different clubs. So they've got golf clubs. They've got a very old caveman club that they bring along. It's very interesting. The reissue, which is Collectors Club 2.0. You've got Collecting Weekly live on every single week. Come rain, come shine, they are there. They are very, very understanding partners, and they have not much of a social life. So they are there every single week, nailing it. You've got Ox PD, which is a Grand Theft Auto mod where they pretend to be police. I think one of them pretends to be a policeman. One of them pretends to be a construction worker. One pretends to be an Indian. They do a funny little dance. There's lots of chaps involved, apparently, and I just assumed that was a British thing. Chaps as in blokes. But no, apparently it's not. Apparently they're arseless. So they do that, a bit of role playing, and that's, oddly enough, that's on After the Watershed. So that's a bit of a keys in a bowl type situation, I think. We've got Question of the Week, which is a different question every week. I don't think that really needed explaining, but there you go. Live and Let
Are
Dice.
there answers, though, or just questions?
There's never answers, always question. Always question. So we've got Live and Let Dice, which is the dicier side of life. Effectively, what they do
apparently.
is they roll it, is you get a special dice, they roll it, and on a 4+, they kill one of the members.
Yeah.
On a 5+, they survive. So that's how they work that one out. Bricks and Brews. Yep, high stakes. Bricks and Brews. That's effectively them getting as smashed out their head as they can and seeing how many Lego bricks they can fit up Mark's arse. They're up to 12.
They're Americans, though, yeah?
Yeah, well, they use Duplo.
2 beers?
Because, two Bud Lights. And then it's effectively they ran out of Lego bricks there to move on to Duplo. So effectively, when Mark now farts, he sounds like a foghorn. You've got, it's like throwing a sausage down a corridor at this point. You've got OFAC, the jewel in the crown, the reason we get up every day, us.
Beautiful.
You know, we are the paragon of professionalism on this network. And then you got Small Talk, which is all about the Black Series and fig arts and all that kind of stuff.
And they're going to have a cracking show tonight because they're covering
the stuff up until
Celebration.
recently. I took the piss out of massively, and now after going to Celebration, I'm I can see the appeal. And then Pose Wars, which is they all get dressed up in slingbacks, and who can strike the best pose. Think of it as that drag show. It's kind of like that, just on the internet, and won't get you arrested. So that's the network. That's us. Collecting is in there somewhere, but at the moment it's a bunch of debauchery. But yeah, that's us. Enjoy us.
So be
That's
sure
what they're there
to
for.
tune into Small Talk, either live or on, catch it tomorrow morning. They're going to be covering the M1 Starfighter and all of the announcements from Hasbro, stuff like that. So it's going to be a cool show. We will be on Shane's show, 16 Figure Focus. Tomorrow we're doing 8:30.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, yeah,
Yeah,
brilliant. And
that
we'll
sounds
kind of
good,
go
yeah.
through Shane's photos, and we'll try and make it a little bit different to tonight. But Shane's got a lot more viewers than us, so they might not have seen.
Oh, I
this.
don't know. I don't know. They hear Ian's
Yeah.
working on. There might be any.
Yeah.
They got
Can
a
I-
penchant for bald men with beards.
Can I give a quick shout out to someone, if you don't mind?
Of course you can. Of course you can.
So, like, I was wandering around on the Friday, in Celebration, and I was just thinking, I wonder will I actually meet anyone? And I was tapped on the shoulder, and it was like, Shane. It was Austin Nicholas. So he's a collector. He has an Instagram. He's been on a few streams, and he's literally just started a YouTube now.
Excellent.
Really an absolute gentleman. Himself and his girlfriend Rachel had a really, really good time chatting to them over the weekend. Really, really down to earth guy, big collector, and he's just getting started. So if there's anyone in the chat now, if you could go over just Austin Nicholas, I just typed that in, it came up. He's got one
Doing
video
it
just
right
short.
now,
He just
mate.
started, and if you give him a sub, because he's an absolute gentleman. And very, very passionate and enthusiastic about collecting.
I know he is.
So,
He's up unboxing a speeder bike.
yeah, that's the one.
I
That's
think,
the one.
yeah.
Yeah. So if you could give a sub, and my own channel, if you haven't checked it out, is 16 Figure Focus on YouTube and at 16 Figure Focus on Instagram. And tomorrow I'll be with these two gentlemen at 8:30 Greenwich Mean Time. I think that's 3:30 New York time and 12:30 West Coast. Never do maths on the radio. I think we got it.
Yeah.
I was very impressed, because normally I'd be like, it's.
Yeah.
It's
It's not exactly integration. I say integration like I know what it is, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
just
Brilliant.
quickly, a big thanks to Alvin J there for the super chat. Thank you very,
Thanks,
very much,
thanks
sir.
very much, Alvin. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. So we'll see you all hopefully again tomorrow night.
Yeah, have fun.
Brilliant.
Enjoy. Thanks, guys. Catch you later.
Night all.
See you folks.
Thanks a lot. Bye.